Okay, I've got bad news. There actually was another like political thing I wanted to talk about. Remember how yesterday we talked about Taylor Lorenz dropping that Wired article about how there are a bunch of Democrat influencers that are receiving dark money from a group that's limiting what they can talk about? That actually really popped off. Not the video specifically, I mean the topic. Can somebody please find me an archive of that article again? Last time I asked for it, you popped it into my mouth like 2 seconds after. Okay, no? Well, never mind that. I really do want that though. Yeah, it's gotten this like wave of responses. Yesterday you didn't stream? Oh yeah. We took a look at David Pacman's the other day, and I was really unconvinced. Yeah, the Wired article. You all remember? Okay, so the allegation is essentially that there is a dark money group that has been funneling money into a bunch of like centrist, DNC-friendly, independent online figures, right? And that in the contract that you sign with them that gets you the money, among other things, there's an expectation that this dark money group gets to make decisions about what kind of content you produce and what kinds of political figures you talk to. Like, you have to run interviews past them. And in response to this article coming out, a bunch of people have acted like really, really sus about it, you know? It's all basically followed the same template. This is Deepak, but there's a bunch like it, you know? Where they all claim that the Wired hit piece has been debunked, like over and over again. They claim it's been debunked. I haven't seen anyone debunk it. I'm curious to see if there's anything more in the videos that I'm going to see, but so far
I mean, all of them have said as much, but I mean, like, Taylor needs to provide evidence for any of her claims. It seems like all the course creators are saying that none of this is true. So, I mean, what more do they need to do?
Seen anyone debunk it? And they do the classic, like, you know, it's fake, let's move on, basically. Like, here's another one that's like that. Look at the similarity in the language here. After a recent Wired hit piece, now fully debunked, false claims started circulating. Sadly, some people chose to unsubscribe from my website membership, Substack, or unfollow YouTube. This outcome is exactly what the author was hoping for when they put out a misleading and inaccurate article. If you want to support what I do, consider subscribing. And then here's this other one. Because of a recent Wired hit piece that has now been debunked, disinformation spread like wildfire, and several people decided to unsubscribe from my Substack. This is what the author wanted despite publishing a false article. Please consider subscribing to support my work today. Same template. Little interesting. Yeah, the autopen, the dreaded autopen they're always talking about Democrats using. Seriously though, like a lot of people are giving these basic template response, and a lot of the more aggressively pro-DNC organizers, like the person who runs Project Liberal, I think they posted a meme where they said Taylor Lorenz was one of the like greatest assets of the right wing. True. Basically, it's looking like they got caught taking money from a shady dark money group, and they're being told through like an internal press release how to handle it. But let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, there are a couple of like choice videos that I want to look at. Organizer memes, which has been fully on the like hope nothing is wrong here, look away side. Highlighted this video, which is quite long, but we're gonna look at it. Highlighted this video as a sterling example, like the best response they've seen to how Taylor Lorenz is lying and the article is wrong. So I want to take a look.
For being very critical of the Democratic Party. Hello, I'm a leftist that is known for being very critical of the Democratic Party. I'm a member of a training program called Chorus that teaches political content creators on the left how to grow their platforms and make content creation into a full-time job. I have a slew of...
Remember when we saw the Deepak video, he talked about this a bit as well, how the idea is you sign up and you receive money with this Chorus program. You get like influencer training, that sort of thing. But in addition, right, the thing that I care about, again, is not necessarily that they're getting money from a dark money group. I think you should disclose when you're receiving money for political purposes. I think most people would agree on this. I think it's good to do that. I think that like all of you guys would probably lose a lot of faith in me if it was broken that I receive a huge amount of money monthly from a political organizing group that has specific expectations as to what kind of content I should produce. Like, even if my position's already aligned with the positions of that group, at the very least, it's, you know, suspect. But it's not the money itself that I really take issue with. It's, to me, the fear that I have that this is an effort being made by a Democrat-aligned super PAC to basically try to take all of these independent, Dem-aligned liberals online and prevent them from shifting away from the Democratic Party, the same way that their voter base is.
Like, I actually don't mind that take. That's my take. I think that if you work in politics, you should have to disclose. Identity should be disclosed, and I think all of your funding sources should have to be disclosed. But the Chorus's funding source is disclosed. It's a 1630 fund. I don't know who funds Vaush. I have more information about who funds Chorus than I do about Vaush. I don't even know how much he makes on any of this stuff.
For example, like the Democrats are really unpopular with their voter base right now. And it's not unlikely to me that some of their wealthier donors might be thinking, fuck, we can't have a bunch of people shift away from liberalism towards like critique of the Democratic Party, because if they do that, then there's no fucking way the interests of the donor class and the Democrats, which have long been prioritized, will continue to be prioritized. We need to find a way to like incentivize these independent content creators to keep on being, you know, stalwart allies. That's my fear. You ever been contacted by these types of groups? Like this, to my knowledge, no.
Receipts to explain why a very fear-mongering article that came out yesterday about how this program works is just very like inaccurate.
So I was defending the Chorus dark money stuff, and we're pretty nasty about Taylor Lorenz. Well, we'll deal with the subreddit soon, and part of my ongoing effort to kind of remodel the community a little bit and make it a bit more related to me. But my issue with Taylor Lorenz is that she's overexcitable, sometimes cringe, has at times demonstrated some poor journalistic ethical practices, and is annoying. But none of these are critiques of the article itself. The allegations in the article seem pretty straightforward. Also, I don't think Taylor Lorenz is like a bad person or anything. Who isn't annoying? I'm annoying.
And I think I'm a good person to talk about this because I've seen a lot of people afraid that this program is just a way for Democrats to pay people off to blindly defend Democrats on the internet. And I understand the fear because that would be diabolical if it was true. But this is a video of me like yelling at the DNC literally yesterday over their refusal to endorse an arms embargo against Israel. I am not one to hold back on criticizing the Democratic establishment, but I think I'm useful proof that that's not what this program's about. I do feel there's people in this cohort who shill a little bit too hard for the Democrats, but that's a them problem, not a this program problem. Without further ado, let's get into the claims of the article versus my receipts. Okay, so the first like main big scary thing that's written into this article is creators told Wired that the contract stipulated they'd be kicked out and essentially cut off financially if they even so much as acknowledged that they were part of the program or that Chorus existed. No. Here's a video of someone named Heidi who's in the cohort explaining what Chorus is and that she's joining it on November 20th, 2024. Here's the Chorus website that is public facing, anyone can see it, with literal pictures of creators that are in the cohort. In the contract I signed, there is some language that says, hey, please, like before you make a public statement about what Chorus is, just check with us. The reason for that is that as the article states, there's over 90 influencers in the program, many of whom have very small accounts and joined the program to get like mentorship and happen to be immigrants or trans in a red state, right? And like already happen to be kind of in extra danger right now. And so the goal everyone kept some
people. That doesn't seem like a very compelling reason to me at all.
And like featured on a huge page and then suddenly had an onslaught of threats from the right. Or says everyone kept some sure that small creators who already had targets on their back weren't accidentally like featured on a huge page and then suddenly had an onslaught of threats from the right. Or says everyone kept some
that doesn't seem like a very compelling reason to me at all. Some people publicly partnering with Chorus, that's not quite the same as, like, look, a bunch of people were secretly on Chorus. Like, the reason we're having this conversation is because a bunch of people who were part of this program hadn't announced it. Is the argument then that people like David Pacman weren't supposed to announce they were part of Chorus? Brian Tyler Cohen? Like they were, you know, they're trans in a red state? I don't really buy this. They clearly were expecting some degree of secrecy. Otherwise...
I mean, I don't want to... Wait, what does he mean when he says he doesn't buy this? Isn't that literally what's happening right now? Every single person now that Taylor can dig up that's been part of Chorus is getting attacked? Isn't that actually literally happening? Isn't that literally happening right the fuck now?
why the secrecy? Like, why? It's normal to disclose when you're receiving money as part of a political program. If the program has a front-facing website and it's known some creators are a part of it, that just makes it even more odd that people who were involved in it would be quiet about the nature of the program and the money that it pays out and what it entails, you know?
Yeah, David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen made announcements, I think, early on about the course program, didn't they?
The very secret, right? People have been talking about it. It was more just, hey, this is already an unsafe job for some people. Check with us in advance so you don't accidentally add to someone's unsafety. Okay, number 2, according to copies of the contract viewed by Wired, creators in the program must funnel all bookings with lawmakers and political leaders through Chorus. No, again, I literally have the contract right here. I'll talk through it in a minute, but first let me show you this. Here's an email of me directly reaching.
Oh, okay. Chorus will provide contractors with access to the Chorus newsroom, which coordinates booking and engagement opportunities for creators, government officials, policy and nonprofit experts, and others whose expertise and experiences are relevant to Chorus's progressive policy agenda. Contractor agrees to 1, utilize the Chorus newsroom to book engagements. 2, disclose to Chorus newsroom personnel any engagements with government officials or others on topics related to Chorus's policy agenda, and that contractor arranges through other means. And then 3, something Chorus regarding all such something engagements. Again, Wired has access to these contracts. I'd like it if I could see them in their entirety.
Literally have the contract right here. I'll talk through it in a minute, but first let me show you this. Here's an email of me directly reaching out to the Zarbon campaign to try to interview him. Of course, does not control who I interview or what I post. I also sometimes ask the comms directors directly of like Congress people that I want to interview, because usually the congressional offices will give out these little business cards, and this is not like specific to content creators. This is just like if you go.
The reason I gave the Wired article so much credence to begin with is because it was making empirically provable or disprovable claims about the content of the article.
It was making provable claims? Shouldn't it, like, prove the claims? Shouldn't that be the goal? What?
Like, if they were just straight up lying about the contents of the multiple, of the contracts, if they were just lying about the multiple, like, contracts that they received, it seems like it'd be really, really, really easy to disprove that, you know? No? IMO, the trans/immigrant defense, is an obvious cynical attempt to deflect criticism. It does kind of sound that way, doesn't it? Yeah, the reason why a bunch of people were secretly on Chorus's payroll is because we were trying to protect trans immigrants in red state. Come on. Try to talk to your senator. The people will give you little business cards. Blur out the name of the specific person because I feel awkward, but like anybody can get these business cards, and then you can just text them. Of course, does not control that. Then lots of congressional That doesn't really address the claim being made by the Wired article.
interviews, and usually I just set that myself. Here's the section of the contract.
Sherlock of DPAC and BTC disclosing payments when this started. I don't think they were getting paid. Brian isn't getting paid, right? I don't know if David is getting paid. I think, isn't he like is he like a founding member guy or whatever?
Confirms that. Says they want you to disclose to Chorus any engagement with government officials related to Chorus's policy agenda. That contract.
Okay, number 3, and collaborate fully with Chorus regarding all such blank other engagements.
You to disclose to Chorus any engagement with government officials related to Chorus.
Also, regarding all such separately arranged engagements, right? Like the point number 3 that she's just barely covering with her head seems like it's saying that you're expected to coordinate with Chorus even when you're engaging with political officials outside of their newsroom program. That's running it by them. That's what the Wire article is saying, that you have to run these engagements by.
This is the same argument that Aaron pretended to fall into. If that was the case, then it would just have one point here. It would say exclusively utilize the Chorus newsroom to book engagements. And the second clause, it wouldn't be here. Or the second part here wouldn't exist. Why would you have to disclose to them any engagements that are that contractor arranges through other means if you have to arrange all of it through? It just doesn't make sense.
Chorus, before having them.
And multiple people have said that just wasn't the case. So, I mean,
that's what the Wire article is saying.
Chorus's policy agenda. That contractor, that's me, I'm the contractor, arranges through other means, right? So if I just arrange it myself with a congressperson, I just let Chorus know so that they know that congressperson's open to booking and other people in Chorus can do it too.
That's what the Wire article is saying. That's what it's saying, that you're expected to coordinate with Chorus on that.
Then I always forget to let Chorus know. I don't think I've ever told them that before, but that's not what's important. What's important is that they're literally acknowledging here that you can book it yourself, and the fact that
If she can move her head just a little bit, I could see the full text.
that's not what's
true.
3, collaborate fully with Chorus regarding all such separately arranged engagement, contract something, participates in newsroom opportunity. I want to know.
important. What's important is that they're literally acknowledging here that you can book it yourself, and the fact that the person who wrote this article claims to have read through the entire contract, but like here it is.
Collaborate fully with Chorus regarding all such separately arranged engagements. Collaborate fully. Is that not? That's what the article is saying. You're indignantly disproving the claim made in the article, but my understanding, looking at this, is that you're proving the claim made in the article. Contractor agrees to 1, utilize the Chorus newsroom book engagements. 2, disclose to Chorus newsroom personnel any engagements with government officials or other.
I guess, has nobody signed any advertising deal or any sponsor deal or anything ever? Is it just never? I guess nobody literally has.
On topics related to Chorus's policy agenda that contractor arranges with through other means. That's everyone, by the way. Like every political figure, government officials or others on topics related to Chorus's policy agenda. The policy agenda is political, right? Any political figure you bring on, you run it by them, and then collaborate fully with Chorus regarding all such separately arranged engagements. That's exactly what the Wired article was saying, wasn't it?
Clearly written that what you stated in your article is categorically false. Like that is quite concerning about your journal.
I'm being gaslit. I'm being gaslit.
Yes.
Here's the article.
Yeah.
I'm being girl boss kept gate-lighted.
Yes. This is the article with Taylor making a claim that she doesn't provide any proof for. She just says she's read the contract, but she doesn't really quote out of it. So we forget showing the whole contract. She doesn't even give us like compelling quotes. So I don't know what we're supposed to do. This is Taylor's word against somebody who signed onto the contract and is claiming otherwise. I would imagine the signator is going to be more authoritative on this than Taylor unless she can provide proof of what she's saying.
Here. But following the initial outreach, some creators expressed concern about some stipulations. According to copies of the contract viewed by Wired, creators in the program must funnel all bookings with lawmakers and political leaders to Chorus. Creators also have to loop Chorus in on any independently organized engagements with government officials or political leaders.
Like those two statements are contradictory, by the way.
If I want to work with another politician, I have to fully collaborate with them, said one creator who was offered the contract but ultimately declined to take it and asked not to be named. If I get Zaran and he wants to do an interview with me, I don't want to give that to them. That's exactly what was in the contract that she was just standing in front of. I gotta say, it really does make them look shady, doesn't it? Like it's not helping.
Integrity. Like, I get that these contracts are long and confusing. That's why people have lawyers and managers to help them. But you don't write an article about it unless you understand what's going on. This whole article is just written like, this group, they have money, and so they control them. And it's just like, no.
No, it made specific. fairly moderate claims that you're reinforcing.
That's not what's happening. If there's someone in this cohort that you are like, they are too much of a shill, doing whatever the Democrat Party says, it's not this program that's the reason for that. You don't have to put this nicely. It's either a personal moral failing by those people, or it's a different contract under that says they can't criticize Dems. But it's not this one, because I'm under this contract, and you can catch me on the daily making fun of Andrew Cuomo, Cory Booker, calling for Chuck Schumer to lose his job. Take your pick. I have heard of contracts that exist that restrict what people can say bad about Democrats, but this is not one of them. This contract actually has no bearing on a single thing that we ever post, which brings me to my next section. The next part, and this is a really important part. I'm going to try to explain this as well as I can.
But it does. It just said that it does. You were in front of it, and it said that. It required you to loop them in. It said that in the contract. And we're only seeing the parts of the contract that you're showing to us.
Feel free to comment questions. Is that the contracts reviewed by Wired prohibit standard partnership disclosures? What she's talking about, okay, a standard partnership disclosure is when you make a video in partnership with an org like the ACLU, and so then you put ACLU partner as a disclosure in your caption. There's very important context left out of this article of why the standard disclosures aren't the kind we use at Chorus, and that's because Chorus never pays us to make a video. The author of this article actually said that in a comment. You're correct that Chorus doesn't pay you to post specific content. Chorus is a training program where I learn things like what likes to buy if I want to film a YouTube video, and what.
Come on. Yeah, man, they're putting out $8,000 a month. They're giving you money so you can take.
Not everybody gets $8,000 a month. That's not everybody. Does he like different people make different amounts of money? Like what do you?
Grams to make you a better content creator. Come on. Fucking thinks I was born yesterday. Yeah, those motherfuckers are generous. This must be how Kamala Harris ended up in debt after raising like $2 billion in a 3-month presidential campaign and then losing, you know? How the fuck are you in debt after that? Well, now we know. It's generosity like...
How is she in debt? What is that even referring to? Unless she like lent money to her own campaign. I don't even know what that... I don't know.
This.
Policy experts are saying about gerrymandering in Texas and National Guard in DC. So since Chorus is about like personal development and they're never paying you to make a video, of course you're not putting like Chorus partnership in your caption. That's not how that works. So I don't fault anyone who read this sentence and was like...
That makes sense, but also like, again, if you were part of a cool, exclusive partner training program where you're getting paid, I feel like more people would disclose it. And the fact that so many people didn't is really telling. Because norm program where you're getting paid.
Anyone who read the sentence and was like,
that makes sense, but also like, again, if you were part of a cool, exclusive partner training program where you're getting paid, I feel like more people would disclose it. And
why? Most people don't disclose like any like random things that they're a part of or things that like that. I mean, some people could, right? It sounds like most people didn't even go through to check what these, like half the people think that none of these people have criticized any Gaza shit before, but like, you know, there's not like a requirement to disclose that. And you motherfuckers disclose any of your shit. So I mean, like, it's just such a weird thing that you're like entitled to that piece of information.
The fact that so many people didn't is really telling. Because normally, if a person is offered money and sort of consultation and support through a program, that is something that one would expect them to disclose. I don't really like the dark money stuff, man. I think it should be out in the open. There should be left think tanks that just openly employ people. The right does that all the time. Who gives make a big think tank or policy group or whatever the fuck, or package, just like, yeah, we're out here supporting America's best, the independent creators that love America the most and want to support it. Yeah, and then just publicly, yeah, here's our sponsor list or whatever. Here's who we love. You missed out, AK. You could have got advice telling you to hypocrite for sound. That's true. That's true. For all you guys know, I'm on the program, and the reason why I haven't been doing any segments on Israel for the past like year, it's not actually because my positions are extremely well known and it felt borderline nihilistic to continue. It's actually because I've been receiving a fat stack of cash every month for it, you know. But that's the thing with dark money. You wouldn't know, right?
That is so evil because a lot of people who consume content don't necessarily know the way that the logistics of like, you know, your partnership labels work. But I am frustrated at the author of this article for not adding like relevant context here because she is not supposed to publish an article unless it's been like very fact checked and contextualized. And
buddy,
this was like very misleading. And then I also highlighted this section I accidentally talked about it already earlier in the video that, you know, creators will not publicize the relationship of Chorus or tell others to remember the program without Chorus's prior express consent. This is the protecting small creators part, but also lots of things in contracts are written very strict in case of legal emergency. I've told plenty of people casually that I'm in Chorus, and Chorus does not care. They've expressly told us that that's fine. This is just where someone does something like diabolically evil.
But all this did still have to come out through investigative journalism.
Investigative?
It's like totally cool if you disclose it, but you have to run it by them first, and a ton of people didn't. And now everyone's scrambling with like very similar sounding defenses of them.
Well, it sounds like she literally was telling people that she was in Chorus. It was just like a thing that, but she didn't make like a whole video announcing it.
Themselves to you know, act as though it all didn't happen.
And Chorus has to sue them, and they can just be like, girl, the contract. Like, it makes it easier in court. They don't really care about it otherwise. It's not top secret. If you want more examples of people who publicly talked about Chorus for a while, I'm happy to provide them. Feel free to comment. I just used Heidi's example because I think it's just very obvious. Okay, I have 2 more things to address in this video, and then feel free to comment if you have more things you want me to explain. But the first is, we talked a lot about what Chorus is not, because the article led people to believe that it was this, you know, a plot by the DNC to be able to just pay people off to blindly obey them. Now that
is there any evidence so far they're doing anything to dissuade people from opposing Israel? Well, the contracts that they signed explicitly said that like you're expected to fall in line with a certain set of policy positions. Sorry,
you don't know that. You haven't seen that anywhere. You're lying.
I'm using overly narrative language. That it is expected that you stay in line with their progressive agenda. She hasn't said anything to debunk that, and frankly, she's been openly lying about the stuff she has been covering. So even if she did, I wouldn't really believe it unless I saw the entire contract and read it through. My guess is that this is an effort to try to like rope a bunch of independent creators in and get them dependent on the income that they get from the contract, so that over time down the line, Chorus can exert a little bit more control, a bit more editorial control over what they can and can't say. It's a really, really common tactic, right, for buying out opposition. You start by getting them a little bit hooked, a little bit dependent. You know, maybe a lot of these smaller content creators, for them, you know, even like $1,000 a month is a huge deal, right? It's the difference between like shopping for discounted food at the cheapo grocery store and being able to get some like nicer stuff, you know. And then one day the press release from within Chorus comes out and it says like, hey, listen, we want to focus on these principles and these priorities, so we would appreciate it if you would deprioritize talking about these subjects. This is the problem with dark money, man. When the contracts are all secret and everyone's hiding what they're getting, and then you also have like a pre-existing bias towards DNC affiliate positions, because again, that's where the money's coming from, right? A DNC affiliate super PAC. There's a huge risk for that kind of public control. We don't know all the details of what they were told. We don't know how many times people in this program were discouraged from saying what or told to say what, you know. But it's worth considering. Considering how dishonest and panicked the response has been to this being outed, it really doesn't give this program a great air of like authenticity and independence.
Been debunked. Let's talk about what Chorus actually is. I have my Google Calendar for the week here to explain. Every morning we start off with a news update meeting. Okay, we meet for 15 minutes. I wake up and I'm immediately just told what the news of the day is, and we all get a chance to ask like questions. We want to know how a specific lawsuit is developing or what is
interesting. So you get your news from them.
Trump expected to do next with the National Guard, right? We're just making sure we're all the most informed. These are very brief. Sometimes they're 5 minutes.
Dems are going to lose here. This is only a scandal because Taylor Lorenz framed it that way. No, it's a dark money super PAC funneling money to people under shady circumstances with the
dark money. You know the fund. You know what the fund is called. What other information do you need?
Expectation of some degree of political compliance. The contract explicitly says you have to start making parts of your content subordinate to the program. Like,
But that was never proven or demonstrated. And every single creator has come out and said that that's not the case.
it is a scandal. Guys, I want more money to circulate in independent left sources. I just don't want it to be like shady DNC dark money from people who, in my opinion, down the line, will try to shift.
How is DNC money shady? It's coming from the DNC. It's probably going to align with the DNC agenda. What do you mean?
People away from talking about Israel. You know?
It doesn't come from the DNC, but I'm saying, like, if it did, like this.
Like, again, this is a DNC affiliate super PAC. These are not progressives. This is a project being fielded by mega donors that run a super PAC. Like, do not get it twisted.
So then 3 times a week in the afternoon, we have a more like specific training. On Mondays, we have technical trainings. That's where we learn about a specific platform. So like someone will come and explain how you start a Substack or how you start YouTube long form. On Wednesdays, we have advocacy training, which is where we hear from an expert in a specific policy field. So recently, it's been a lot of people who work in like immigration, explaining ICE or explaining the logistics of the National Guard, that kind of thing. And then Fridays are a little bit more flexible and they're optional. I haven't content, so I won't speak on it. And that is weekly study.
Taylor Lorenz wrote about me and a number.
Here's an arch DNC shill. She met with Biden. Actually met with Biden alongside Pac-Man during one of Biden's very few sort of like tennis balls being tossed in the direction of the independent online left. You know, she has a huge lib. No pun intended.
Other content creators who are part of the Chorus cohort is filled with factual inaccuracies. First and foremost, we are not paid to make content. We are not paid by the Democratic Party. Chorus does not.
No, you're paid by a program funded by a Democrat-affiliated super PAC, which is how this always works, right? And you're not paid to make content. You're paid to be a content creator affiliated with the program, but you're not paid for specific videos.
Not have any creative control over any of the content that I make, over any of the people that I talk to, and they have never and will never tell me what I can or cannot say. The contract that we sign does not pay us for content. It is the same as somebody giving seed money to a small business to build their infrastructure so that that business can go on to be self-sustaining.
Okay, but when seed money is given, or an investment, if you prefer, investments pay interest. That's the point of investment. If you offer seed money, like the idea is that it gets paid back. So how are you paying them back is the question. Like unless you're sincerely arguing this is being done out of the like magnanimous tendency of a super PAC, you know? Like why would you make that comparison?
In the future. That is effectively what Chorus is. It offers.
Isn't that the whole point of a super PAC? Is to throw money at political causes and not make money back? Is that not literally, definitionally? Do we think that super PACs just exist as a giant investment firm? It's like private equity?
Magnanimous tendency of a super PAC. So how are you paying them back is the question. Like unless you're sincerely arguing this is being done out of the like magnanimous tendency of a super PAC, you know?
What do you think super PACs are for? It's to fund, it's to throw a ton of money at political causes. What?
Like why would you make that comparison?
In the future. That is effectively what Chorus is. It offers small creators and content creators technical trainings and operational guidance on how to build their own long-term self-sustainable platform.
We pay you to teach you how to set up a ring light. Okay.
If you want to get into the weeds about all of those things, you can go watch the videos that were posted by Elizabeth Booker Houston and Ali O'Brien. By the way, 2 people
We just saw the Ali O'Brien one, didn't we?
who are part of this cohort who have been consistently critical of the Democratic Party since all of this started, which debunks the other claim you have, which is that we have to be nice and uncritical of the Democratic Party.
That wasn't a claim the Wired article made. That she's just making that up.
That's literally what you said. You said that their content had to be Did he not say subordinate to the Democratic Party? Wait, did I miss that? Hold on. I'm sorry. I thought I heard him say those words.
Who have been consistently critical of the Democratic Party since all of this started, which debunks the other claim you have, which is that we have to be nice and uncritical of the Democratic Party.
That wasn't a claim the Wired article made. That she's just making that up. Political compliance. The contract explicitly says you have to start making parts of your content subordinate to the program. Like it is a scandal. Guys, I want more money to circulate. Taylor Lorenz framed it that way. No, it's a dark money super PAC funneling money to people under shady circumstances with the expectation of some degree of political compliance. The contract explicitly says you have to start making parts of your content subordinate to the program. Like it is a scandal. Guys, I want more money to circulate in independent left sources. I just don't want it to be like shady DNC dark money from people who, in my opinion, down the line.
What does it mean if you're getting shady DNC dark money and you have to be subordinate to the program's policies of the DNC? She's just restating what you said, and you're saying that that's not what the article or you said? What?
Okay. But when seed money is given, or an investment, if you out of the like
small creators and content creators, technical trainings and operational guidance on how to build their own long-term self. You can go watch the videos that were posted by Elizabeth Booker Houston and Ali O'Brien. By the way, 2 people
we just saw the Ali O'Brien one, didn't we?
Who are part of this cohort who have been consistently critical of the Democratic Party since all of this started, which debunks the other claim you have, which is that we have to be nice and uncritical of the Democratic Party.
That wasn't a claim the Wired article made. That she's just making that up. The Wired article didn't claim that. I think there's the potential for that kind of impropriety, but the article didn't make the claim that it was like a condition of being paid that you had to be a DNC show. Certainly, it's there are pressures exerted in that direction, but
he just said earlier you have to be subordinate to their agenda, to the DNC-aligned dark money agenda. How is that not the exact same thing that she's saying?
It might be easy to convince people on the
I guess it really doesn't make them look good that all of them have gotten this defensive, you know? Like,
oh my God! Wow, you're so defensive, by the way, after I accused you of literally being a dark money paid for shill who has no original political opinions and who's taking or who's taking instructions so that you're subordinated to the DNC.
I'm trying to think, like, how would I respond if I was in their position? Like, maybe I'm trying to construct this in a way that I think I could do it. Like, I could imagine myself in that position. I think I could imagine this. I would say, like, there's a content creator program that was pitched to me that was meant to help left-leaning people. And I was like, oh, sure, why not? You know, I'll give it a shot. And they were like, yeah, we're willing to pay you too. Like, we want to support left content online. I'm like, okay. And I don't really think that much about where the money comes from. And see, because here's where it breaks down, because I would always mention it to stream. At least I think so. I can't imagine what would have to be told me to not mention that I'm getting money. And then also the program is like exerting pressure in a particular direction by encouraging classes where I listen to, I can't imagine
Pressure? No, but that's
myself doing that. But if I did do that and it came out and my intentions were pure, which is possible, you know what I think I would do? You know what my like ukulele apology video would be? I think I would say, fuck, you're right. Yeah, no, that is dark money. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about the good, and I was thinking about it, and my opinions were colored by the fact that it was convenient to me, but it never really occurred to me how potentially sinister something like that could be. Like, I think I would have to own up to that, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, if I was in that position, I think I would have to own up to that. I might even defend the program, like its intentions, but with that element, I think I would have to be conciliatory. But that's not the tone I'm seeing from these people.
Side and to convince other creators that the things that you're saying about 1630 and about Omidyar and about journalism are all true. But unlike a lot of other creators and people on the outside, I have experience in the nonprofit world, the nonprofit compliance world, and in journalism, which is why
this is a lot of like unearned snark, I have to say. Like, this is an inappropriate tone to take when you've been outed in the fashion that you've been outed. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, dude. I hate these motherfuckers. All these fucking YouTube millionaires, the Vaushes and the Hasans, they have all this fucking money. They don't do fucking anything with it except sit on it and hoard their wealth like dragons. And then they shut on other company. Well, it's because he's a socialist, basically, right? It's because he hates the Democratic Party and wants it to fail.
Like, you're talking like you're on the offense, which is not the situation you're in.
I am absolutely dumbfounded that your article was even published in the first place.
Still hasn't listed a single thing wrong about it, by the way.
When you submit a piece of content or a piece of writing to someone in an editorial manner, they go through a rigorous fact-checking process. So the fact that your article, which was
Unfortunately, there's nobody on the left, so how would you even combat the immense online right-wing influence without big money from corporations like the DNC? There's, for one, make the money public. It doesn't have to be secret. Just offer the money freely or have grants. Literally, yeah, just do a grant program. Like this year, we're handing out $2 million to fresh-faced enterprising young creators who are interested in defending American democracy. That's one. Two, make your reps much more open to a comment and engagement and interview by online left-leaning creators. There are some Republican congressmen who are really easy to get a hold of for right-leaning media, but it's like Ro Khanna, AOC, there are only a couple who are easy to get a hold of on the Democrats, and they're usually relatively left-leaning. Like, a lot of Democrats just aren't really interested in engaging with that. You can talk about like better media engagement or synthesis. Like, why the fuck are so many like Democrat news breaks exclusively pitched to shit like CBS? Who fucking cares? You know, try to develop a more robust relationship the way the right has. The right has developed such a robust relationship with its online grifter community that Carolyn Levitt literally has done. Like, here's the final boss. We'll only do the one more. I think
the final boss.
Brian Tyler Coe, one of the co-founders of the program. You know, the big boy. Let's hear it. I haven't seen this one. I have no idea what's in it. I can take a guess though.
At the risk of giving an internet troll more attention, I want to...
Really? Jesus, that's how defensive we're starting off? Taylor Lorenz, internet troll? That's really like a fair character?
More attention, I want to...
Really? I have no idea what's in it. I can take a guess though.
At the risk of giving an internet troll more attention, I want to...
Really? Jesus, that's how defensive we're starting off? Taylor Lorenz, internet troll? That's really like a fair characterization? Fuck, I mean, I'm blocked by her on my alt. It's not like I haven't been mean to her, but Jesus Christ.
Address a piece that Taylor Lorenz wrote yesterday for Wired. An initiative aimed at boosting Democrats online offers influencers up to $8,000 a month to push the party line. All they have to do is keep it secret and agree to restrictions on their content. Literally nothing in this.
I'm being real, by the way. When this story first broke, my thought was, oh, that was irresponsible for these creators to not disclose it. Now that I've seen how every single one of them has reacted, like dishonesty and defensiveness, now it's making me think if you were on that program, mentally, like, you're blacklisted to me. Like you are in a category of people that I can't trust at all now. Entirely because I'm sure there are some people that were on the group of 90 who are fine, but like every response that comes out from it is so aggressively defensive and dishonest. It makes me think like, no, the only people the chorus program are going out for were these like self-interested jackals who really would just adopt whatever talking points necessary to defend the hive, you know?
Have you demonstrated that at all? We haven't seen any part of the contract that dictates content terms. Has anybody had any like massive changes in positions? Has anybody like tracked any of that at all?
Statement is true.
Like it doesn't even pass. I'm going to use the forbidden words. It doesn't even pass the common sense test. Like they've even kind of alluded to it. But let's say that I had $1 million of dark slush fund money to give out, and I wanted to give it out for like pro-Israel purposes. I wouldn't try to influence anybody's opinion on that. I would just give it to people who are already pro-Israel. No? Like what?
Article is about Chorus, which is a nonprofit that I helped found to build up a creator ecosystem, which everybody says they want, but few are doing. So here's what Chorus is. It is a scholarship program to teach creators how to grow their accounts, foster engagement, launch their own shows, and become profitable on their own. It's an incubator program to build the pro-democracy ecosystem. Influencers and creators have never been more important when it comes to how Americans are consuming their news.
We're going to get a pitch, I assume. We're going to get a pitch because he's one of the co-founders, especially. What's surprising about them being defensive? Because I genuinely think that like if they cared about the things they pretend to care about, they would be more conciliatory about the secretive nature of the organization. Like these are people who have been criticizing the right relentlessly for years about the dark money. Remember the was it Tencent scandal where like a Russian company was funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars into a couple right-wing influencers? Like that was also secretive. They were also not disclosing that. Like Tencent, thank you.
It was one, it was illegal. Two, that was a foreign adversary. And they were using like an illegal shell company to not disclose things. And then three, we found out it was a absolutely fucking massive amount of money from people who were taking very surprising positions that happened to align concretely and completely with a foreign adversary to the United States of America. For instance, Tim Pool screeching that Ukraine is the largest enemy of the United States, or the biggest enemy of the United States is Ukraine. Like,
it's the exact same thing, right? And Tim Pool also claims he wasn't being told
exact same thing. These people are just fucking retarded. I guess these people are just retarded.
what to say. Like it's the Tencent's the other thing. Sorry. You know what I'm talking about? Now, obviously, in terms of severity, I don't think this is as bad as the Tenet Media thing. Like, we're not, it's not that bad in terms of how like morally compromised it is. But just no conciliatory. Like, Jesus, why couldn't you just fucking disclose it? Why couldn't just everyone say like I'm a part? Why couldn't it all be super out in the open? Why was it a surprise? Why did an article have to be written about it? Shouldn't people have the right to make these decisions themselves? Why does Taylor Lorenz and the people who work on the article, why do they have to go out and disclose it? Shouldn't you be able to just say it openly and let people decide how they feel about it? If you said it openly and people are like, it sounds like you're grooming people into being DNC shows, then just own that and argue against it. Say, no, here are people on the payroll or whatever who aren't acting that way. Like, these people are critical of Israel. Who was hiding it? Shahrazadian. You have to read the article. This was investigative journalism. They broke the story. It wasn't known. Like, the nature of this program wasn't known. The people who were on it, what was happening with it, there were elements of it that were known, like the fact that the chorus program existed broadly, but a bunch of details. What is this whole drama about if not the release of information that must have up until that point been kept secretive?
The right has been doing this for years.
There was a bunch that wasn't known because the stuff that wasn't known were literally all lies that Taylor published. So nobody knew about it because it wasn't true.
And the left needs to catch up. That's why we're doing this with Chorus. So
I don't like that argument. As I've outlined before, I think there are ways that you can empower and improve and fund the online left.
Yes, please, and be vague and just say fuck all about it and don't actually give any concrete anything because,
Without doing sneaky bullshit like this. And listen, this to me is an actual race to the bottom. Unlike rhetoric you use against the right or like, redistricting to get more blue seats or whatever, this right here is actually dangerous. But he would disagree because he's on the side of the people who would benefit, DNC donors. Brian Tyler Cohen's no radical progressive. Of course he's fine with it. Because
how are the donors benefiting here?
That's my donor class right there.
What's the donor benefit here? What?
The threat that people might be groomed into being more pro-establishment DNC, it's not a threat. It's a hope. Like, he wouldn't have an issue with that. I do. I think that our only hope for it as a country is for the DNC to be shaken awake, for it to be changed in some way that allows it to stand even a chance of fixing the fucking death spiral that we're in right now. But the donors for the DNC don't want that because invariably this process would probably involve raising taxes. There's just no way around it. There's no way around it.
Talk about what Chorus is and what it's not. Chorus does not pay creators for content, does not tell them what to say, does not control who they talk to or work with, and there's
control is a vague word. We've seen what the contract stipulates in this field. We're kind of relying on the ambiguity of these terms, right?
absolutely nothing in the contract that could even be reasonably interpreted to say that we do. Period. Full.
I think that's a lie. I think that's just a straight out lie. Requesting that people who sign the contract run all political or like political related figures by chorus before speaking with them, like that's just a lie.
Well, stop.
But that's not really what was being said, but we've done this line a million times.
I don't know a single creator who would willfully sign up for a program that would tell them what they can or can't say.
Machinima? That happens all the time. All the time. If you offer them money, it's money.
Showing his age, Machinima. Does Machinima even still exist? Also, that was for people to create YouTube content about video games. Did Machinima branch out to something else? What the fuck are we talking about?
You're offering them money and also help. It doesn't say run it by them, like asking for permission. It says they have to disclose it to them. It's not just about disclosure, though. And for one, even disclosure on its own is something. Like if you disclose something they don't like, what happens? But also, it wasn't just about disclosure. It was about like the expectation that they can be used for the future in that program. Like there was soft power being exerted here. I don't understand what the point is in denying it. It's obviously there.
That's not what this program is. We pay people to show up to workshops and technical trainings to optimize their content online. For example, we've got trainings on...
What about the when you have policy experts go on and talk with you? Remember? The First Lady talked about that. Like, here's a policy expert. What about the 15-minute segment at the beginning where they're given like the news of the day? It's not difficult to imagine that those kinds of programs could very easily shape the priorities, biases, and content of an influencer, right?
To some extent, sure. But I mean, that's kind of the goal in joining, right? Is to give people more information about what the news that's going on, how to report it, probably ideally better sources of information, or what you think is better sources of information, right? If you're a chorus, I would imagine.
Content for YouTube, trainings on how to optimize audience retention for Instagram and TikTok, trainings on how to form an LLC. Again, there are zero restrictions.
Also, again, then why are you paying them? And also, why an ongoing program? Like, you really need to offer David Pacman $8,000 a month and also keep him in for like weekly meetings to help him grow his audience? What are we talking?
Was Pacman getting money from this? I don't remember if Pacman was or not. I don't remember what I said.
About here. The fact that David Pacman is even on this program on its own debunks the idea that this is entirely about giving creators the ability to optimize their content. David Pacman is enormous. He's a huge, huge channel. He's clearly very good at running his channel. Ridiculous.
On their content.
Ridiculous.
By the way, the program works. In just 2 months, our cohort has added a combined 6 million followers. That's not including me, and seen their views and engagement grow. That is the point of the program, to teach creators how to be effective with whatever messages they want to promote. And with regard to keeping it a
To be
secret,
fair, Pacman talked about it as though he'd be a mentor for the smaller creators in the program. Yeah, but you'll notice that Brian over here isn't mentioning that. Oh, yeah, don't worry. We have some people on payroll. People like David Pacman, known apolitical figure, who will instruct smaller creators. Do you think there's potential for political bias in there? That's not exactly just like a...
Like, there's a political bias in literally everything. Then you wanted a left-leaning program that grows left-leaning content creator. Like, yeah, there's going to be some political bias in everything. It's a political fucking program. No shit.
course on maximizing audience retention is it? What do you think David Pacman's going in there to talk about? How he sets up his ring lights? What camera settings he uses? Come on. Let's, like...
It sounds like they don't, they just didn't want any infrastructure. They want everything to be purely grassroots. No, because they would have no problem with this program if it was like a socialist program. They would have no problem with this. They just don't like it because it's for liberals.
All I'm asking is that we not be children when we talk about, like, what this all means, okay?
there is a standard confidentiality clause in the contract to protect the privacy of the creators. On the literal first day of the program, it was made clear to all of the creators in our kickoff session that they were absolutely free to talk about Chorus. And we immediately followed up to confirm that in writing. Creators have...
And yet, contracts found by the Wired seem to disagree, and I haven't seen any evidence to the contrary, I suppose. Devil's proof. And additionally, it sure seemed like people were being quiet about it. I mean, I definitely didn't see a bunch of like Chorus payment disclosures going out beforehand.
Because why would people just randomly start publishing a whole bunch of shit like that? What?
videos about Chorus. They've got donation links to Chorus in their bios. I myself have made videos that were posted all over the internet about Chorus that reached hundreds of thousands of people. It is not a secret, and it never was.
But Chorus being publicly known isn't the same as a person's individual status of being paid by Chorus is known, right? That's the dark money accusation. Like, super PACs can provide dark money to candidates, but you would not defend against that argument by saying that the existence of the super PAC is known. Oh, it can't be like this right-leaning super PAC. That's not dark money because we all know that super PAC exists. Okay, but we don't know where all the money's going, which is why it's dark money. You understand? See, again, like stuff money to candidates, but you would not defend against that argument by saying that the existence of the super PAC is known. Oh, it can't be like this right-leaning super PAC. That's not dark money because we all know that super PAC exists. Okay, but we don't know where all the money's going, which is why it's dark money.
No, you fucking retard. We know where the money's going. You don't know where it's coming from. That's why it's called dark money. Am I missing some structure? What is he talking about? What would be the point of a super PAC if we don't know where any of the money is going to? They were obviously they're funding political things. How are we reporting on how much money these funds are giving every, billion? How is it that people can report $50 billion donated by super PACs to blah, blah, blah every year, and this is all the money that's being spent, right? That's the whole point. This is what I mean when I say I don't believe, I'm never, ever, ever, I will always challenge people on this now. I don't believe in the term dark money. I don't think it's a real term. I think it's a fictitious term that people use to just attack things they don't like. Like, dark money, we don't know where the money's going? The money's going to Chorus! Say if 1630 is a dark money fund, they're sending the money to Chorus. That's the whole point. And then it's going to create it. We know where it's going. The problem with dark money, quote unquote, is the 501c4s that can kind of, in a way, hide where the money's coming from. If you want to make some criticism of dark money, but you don't know where anybody's money is coming from, technically.
You understand? See, again, like stuff like this should be 101 to somebody like Ryan, okay? He's been immersed in
101. Oh my God.
politics for longer than I have. Like, all of this should be, if it was a right-leaning figure engaging in this kind of impropriety, I think that he would call it out and identify it. I think it's pure in-group bias to pretend at this,
There's the implication in the article that this is some arm of the DNC or the Democratic Party. We have literally nothing to do with the DNC. I spend 0 minutes of my day thinking about the DNC.
Funded by a DNC-aligned super PAC, a very large and wealthy one, whose money is provided by mega donors, is the preferred term, not super donors, who themselves regularly meet with Democratic influencers. Are we really doing this? Are we pretending super PACs aren't affiliated with the parties that they support? Are we really doing this? Like, come on.
The creators do not toe any party line. How could we? There isn't a party line. Creators are absolutely allowed to speak out against the Democrats and...
I mean, like, how do you even disprove... This is an unfalsifiable statement because the Democratic Party is going to be, for instance, pro-choice. I'm sure the 1630 Fund probably supports a lot of pro-choice initiatives. So the 1630 Fund is probably going to be funded by a lot of the same people that throw money at the Democrats and also are going to toe a lot of the same ideological lines. But like that's just because people agree on these subjects. So how would you even fight that point?
In fact, plenty do.
Yes, I'm sure there's nothing in the contract that explicitly says you have to be a DNC shill. We're mostly talking about the secrecy and the exertion of soft power here, which I notice none of these people are talking about. None of these people are talking about or acknowledging the potential risk of soft influence, getting a person hooked on the money that they get from the program or just the support, the resources, the community, and then trying to cultivate their mindset by subjecting...
I like how he talks about it like it's a fucking heroin addiction. They're trying to get you addicted. They're trying to get you hooked on it.
Here, which I notice none of these people are talking about. None of these people are talking about or acknowledging the potential risk of soft influence, getting a person hooked on the money that they get from the program or just the support, the resources, the community, and then trying to cultivate their mindset by subjecting them to the bombardment of liberal bullshit in these programs, these soft expectations. Like, none of them are acknowledging it. I feel like they would if this was being done by a different group.
Frankly, course creators should and do criticize Democrats when they suck, and quite often, they do suck. I've seen posts saying that this is APAC funded, which couldn't be further from the truth. I venture to guess that most course creators, myself included on both YouTube and Substack, have spoken out against the atrocities in Gaza. Lorenz says that the 1630 Fund is, quote, a powerful liberal dark money group. 1630 Fund is our fiscal sponsor. One of the largest documented donors to 1630 Fund is the same person funding Meteor's Reporters in Residence program, which Taylor Lorenz herself is a part of.
But Taylor Lorenz being a part of that program is publicly known, isn't it?
So is Chorus being part of the 1630 Funds program. It's no shit.
That means it's not dark money.
That's not what dark money means. It doesn't mean anything. Okay, well, I think tomorrow I have a panel debate on this. It's going to be a good one. This is just a random term that people use. Dark money just doesn't mean anything, I think.
Problem isn't that it's super PAC money, which is how all money circulates in politics these days. It's that it's being done secretly. Taylor Lorenz, disclosed it. If Taylor Lorenz was being secretly funded by a PAC-backed program and didn't disclose that fact, and then it was revealed suddenly that she was receiving $8,000 a month for a politically affiliated program funded by people with political interests, unless we're going to pretend super PACs don't have those, you would probably call it out.
And guess what her monthly stipend is? $8,000 per month.
That's great. I have no problems at all with people making money on the internet doing politics stuff. See, doesn't this come across as like really dishonest? Like him pretending that the problem is that they're giving people money and not the secrecy of the giving the people the money, right?
So she's criticizing an entity that is funded by someone that she is currently taking money from.
See, this is like really, like this is knowing dishonesty. That's not naivete. This is a knowing lie. Brian's not stupid. This is a conscious choice to lie, which is like, damn, I hope some of the other people in this program are looking at this unfold and thinking like, damn, what have I aligned myself with, you know? This, from my perspective, this is like a desperate gasp to try to exert more control over an online left space that is increasingly fracturing with the Democrats. If you went back to the Obama years, or hell, even the first Trump term or early Biden, there were a lot of online left liberals or even progressives who were still kind of on board with the Democrats, you know, like they would engage with, and, you know, like lefties have always been critical of Democrats, but you know what I mean? Now, that base of support has withered considerably, you know? It's really, really difficult to produce content online these days that's DNC aligned because they're so unpopular. Like, it's bad just for business reasons, let alone like the actual legitimate criticisms. It just comes across as really manipulative.
I guess it's okay when Taylor Lorenz gets paid, but no one else.
Fuck, man, seriously? What a low IQ misdirection. Come on. That one right there is bad enough that I feel like it would play poorly even with like his audience, like people who are already favorable to him. That's really dishonest.
The monthly stipend that we offer is so that creators can do this work full time. We've had numerous creators in the cohort quit their jobs so they can focus on creating content full time. That
Interesting. Sounds like they're really dependent on your program and the money it provides.
is what we want. I'm really proud that we can give creators that security for as long as they're in the program.
Ooh. Oh. See?
We want people to create pro-democracy content full time, and we want to make sure that they can afford to pay their rent and their bills while doing it.
Kind of reinforces the potential for impropriety a little bit, doesn't it? If you think about it.
I mean, it could, but then demonstrate the impropriety. This is true of all funding. This is true of all money. This is true of audience capture, right? Like all of this is, all of these are things that can be problems. But you have to actually have that connection be made. You can't just assume that it's always happening.
1,000 people in it so that everybody can be part of the program. I would. For everybody saying that they would like to be part of the next cohort, we would love for you to apply. That's our whole goal. It's to build up an army of pro-democracy content creators who can speak authentically about the issues
Will their applications be publicly known, or will there have to be a follow-up from Taylor Lorenz to find out who accepts it?
that they care about and be able to do it as effectively as possible. I should note that while I started this program, I have never and will never get paid. I do this 100% as a volunteer. I've never earned a dime from Chorus, and I never will. I want every dollar that we raise to go to creators so that they can do
Okay. Every dollar that we raise, your funder is a super PAC. Like, I understand you receive donations as well, but I think using the term raise here implies a level of grassroots community engagement that might not be representative of where your financing comes from. Also, the fact that you don't take money is about as impressive to me as the fact that Trump donates his presidential salary. Like, you're very successful. I wouldn't expect you to make money off this program. That's not the criticism.
this important work without spending 8 hours a day.
Well, it shows that at least he's not trying to make that there's an ideological bent to this, which is, I imagine, what you would want for an ideological, politically oriented program. Like, I don't know if I need to say this. I don't know if I've ever disclosed this publicly or not, but when I was finding candidates to support for our canvassing operation, those were politically partisan decisions. Like, I was looking for people that ideologically aligned with me. I was looking for generally Democratic candidates. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
Today working at some different job. I've been saying for years that the left needs to build up its creator space. That has never been more true than it is right now.
Can we do it transparently? Especially if we're going to do it with super PAC money.
Also, I love the lose-lose here. That's a really good point. David Pakman getting paid was the worst thing in the world. Wow, you're making money on this. How fucking horrible. But now, Brian Tyler Cohen saying he's not getting paid. Pfft, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? So what? You're rich anyway, bro. Who cares? That's not the problem. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thanks. So it doesn't fucking matter, no matter what. Good one.
Money that's already affiliated with the DNC. Can we do it transparently?
Influencers and creators have never been more important when it comes to how Americans are consuming their news. The left is a decade behind right now. We desperately need incubators teaching and amplifying new content creators, and not just Course, by the way. There are other programs in this space doing the same thing. I want all of them to succeed. We need all of them to succeed. There are people like Taylor Lorenz who are desperate to tear the left apart, and
Again, stuff like this. Even if you disagreed with what Taylor Lorenz was stating in that article, most of which was just basic investigative, like just factual descriptions of the contents of the contracts, the fact
With no contract posted.
that they're giving no credence to the legitimate questions raised. No, like, sit down. Hey, I understand how some people might be concerned that there could be a soft bias or like a soft influence here. No mention of that from any of these people. Just raw gaslighting and defensiveness. Really, really, really disgusting stuff. I didn't know Brian was this bad, honestly. I've felt that way about Pakman for a long time, ever since I raised $250,000 for the PCRF to help children in Palestine affected by, Israeli bombs, and he suggested that the money might be going to Hamas. Ever since that pretty much locked my perception of the man in. But I guess I didn't realize Brian was like that as well. It's like a lot of people, I guess, are in this category.
True.
in fact, it becomes clear who her efforts help when you hear stuff like this.
Genuinely, I kind of like Taylor Lorenz because I know that she actually believes what she says. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah,
Great argument.
Tune in to Lib and Learn if you want to have Peace Go trigger you.
You think you might be like overcompensating a little bit here? Like you might even lead your own fans to be critical of you? Like, you're not a Fox News host. Your fans are, at least to some extent, trained to recognize empirical reality. I feel like a lot of them might be keyed in on this. Taylor Lorenz isn't an evil ghoul, like an easy cheap shot target. She's been in the space and she's known and she's done work and people have a variety of opinions. But like, this is such an insane level of vitriol over. And again, remember, the argument they're making is that there was nothing secret here. Why the fuck are you acting this way when it all came out?
Okay.
Nothing secret here. Then why didn't you look at the article and go like, oh yeah, obviously. You didn't know?
No, because there are lies in the article. That's the problem.
generally don't align myself with friends of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens.
Jesus Christ. Well, we know what they have to do now. Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens have to we need one clip from them of them saying they like Brian Taylor Cohen, and then his career's done. He's so catty. He's so he's so disingenuous, dude. I hate that fucking argument. It's not an argument. Like, he knows he's lying.
I continue to believe that the left needs massive investments into the independent media.
Oh, and by the way, I hope this whole thing has reminded you guys, given how much the Republicans have been fucking our lives up lately, I feel like the perspective might have gotten a bit skewed. This is the liberal side. This is what they are. This is what they represent. These are big creators. There's a lot of money and power here. Not as much as the Republican White House.
There you
but
go.
This is what I'm talking about.
There you
I
go.
do not think the average liberal voter or liberal American or whatever is like this. But I think that the closer you get to the top, associated with the DNC or whatever, the more
The
money
more they look like the same.
interests start to influence you, the more likely it is you turn into this. This is really disgusting stuff. And I think it's really validated a lot of what Taylor Lorenz has said. Again, Taylor Lorenz's article on my own induced primarily skepticism and curiosity. After watching these, I'm radicalized. And some people are going to say, well, he was always going to feel that way, and I can't convince them otherwise, right? Like I'm putting on a pretense or something. But genuinely, like I really didn't have any specific bias against that lady at the beginning of this or Brian here, you know? They earned it.
Space. I'm really proud of the program that we've built. I'm really proud that we've allowed creators to do this work full time. I'm really proud of the independence that they have to say whatever they want to say in whatever way they want to say it. I'm really proud that our creators are seeing their channels and their pages grow. My goal is to see an army emerge from the left to take on what's happening on the right. Taylor Lorenz and Republicans don't want to see it, but we do.
If Taylor Lorenz and Republicans, this is just MAGA language, man. This is just like ignore all nuance, gaslight, misdirect, move off the topic, don't address the subtler nuances, engage in us versus them language. Oorah, oorah. It is literally blue MAGA behavior.
Blue MAGA.
Libs think their audiences are stupid, or at least Brian does. He's not talking to us. Not that I have any sympathy for Taylor Lorenz, but we didn't put any restrictions on what they could say is kind of a cop-out answer. That's how soft power works. I don't know what that means, but we literally don't put any restrictions on what people can say. Does Brian not know what soft power is? Wait, does he actually not know what soft... That's a very revealing thing to say. Does he know? Soft power isn't about explicitly restricting people? Why would he say this? Why wouldn't he just ignore the comment? This is kind of a lose-lose. Well, that's crazy. I don't know what to say. This is actually a lot worse than I thought it would be.
Wow.
You know, I'm really surprised. Oh. I don't know. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I wonder how Taylor's doing through all this. She's probably getting a fuck ton of harassment because I only talked about a few people or their responses. You know, there are a ton of people going after Taylor Lorenz.
Oh no.
She posted a great video. Did she?
Oh boy. How dog shit is this?
We were going to start off with obviously some drama, a little bit of drama. The Wired article came out yesterday. I covered it obviously on the stream. It's a big controversy. And in the Wired article, they actually don't even talk about like Unfuck America. That's another like Democrat Party affiliated group that's like getting TikTokers to go all around and do like the Unfuck America tour or whatever. But apparently the person who runs it, who is like super pro Destiny, came after me and said, Hasan, bitch, please, you're not about to try and out progressive me while you were sitting on your ass streaming. I'm getting progressives like this, stay mad. Oh, FYI, I used to work at TYT. My NDA recently expired. Not sure what that second part means because I haven't worked at TYT for years. I didn't even know this person worked at TYT as well. But this I think is a pretty solid response to this argument. Gato Fumador responses. I've been getting progressives. You helped like a single Virginia State delegate in 2021. Everyone else you've worked with has lost. Anyway, I knew that was going to be a point of controversy because obviously nobody likes to be outed as taking money from the Democratic Party. But yeah, one key thing that's come out of this, by the way. Every person mentioned the Wired article funded by PAC and using Bernie Sanders as a straw man to discredit the article. Anyway, this was the short and sweet summary. Influencers including communication about the program and in some cases an onboarding section for those receiving payments from the 1630 fund, including Olivia Giuliana, David Pacman, Scoop, a powerful dark money group is secretly funding high-profile Democratic Party influencers. Big liberal content creators are being paid up to $8,000 a month to push party messaging. But the problem is the goals of the Democratic Party are not to actually do something right by the working class. Okay, if that was their goal and they were funding this network of content creators, then sure, it's normal, it's good. The Republicans do it all the time, but we shouldn't be demanding a network of Charlie Kirks. A network of mercenary Charlie Kirks, but blue MAGA style. Okay? This is why when people came to me about the whole Joe Rogan to the left, we need a Joe Rogan to the left, all this shit, okay? I kept repeating over and over again, it's not a Joe Rogan to the left situation. Like, the problem is larger than this, okay? The problem is far more consequential than this. Like, yes, you're right. All of these people, all of the political grifters on the right are in some way, shape, or form a part of this infrastructure that the Republicans have designed, and they're far better than the Democrats are. They're on the ball when it comes to, like, farming out talent from independent media, right? They do it. They 100% do it. Okay, this is a thing that they do. But the major issue here is that when they're farming out talent from the right, from independent spheres and whatnot, they actually still try to offer treats to the base. Democrats, on the other hand, don't do that. They're constantly in a defensive posture. They don't have any discernible policies that you can identify them with. These are major issues that you cannot overcome. The greatest example of this is the last election cycle. Kamala Harris's policies for an angry base of support was basically to say, you shouldn't be, we're not going to fix any of these issues. We don't even have any real serious issues at all. You should just be afraid of the Republicans, which there is truth to that sentiment, right? Like, you should be afraid of Republicans. I kept repeating that over and over again as well, but it didn't matter because they were constantly running in the direction of right-wing ideology, thinking that they were going to be able to pick away some of these Republicans in the base, some of these Republican voters, and bring them to the Democratic Party. It didn't work that way, right? It was a failure. She out-money spent the Trump administration by massive margins. She outraised the Trump admin by big margins, but it didn't matter. Because no matter how much money you dump, no matter how much you're in front of...
I like how Kamala actually had actual policy positions. Like, 3 of them were literally just giving money, right? It was the first-time home buyer tax credit for, it was like $20,000 or something. One was a was it like a small business owner tax credit or something? I thought it was stupid. And then the other was an expansion of the child tax credit. They were like 3 different. She literally named those were 3 like I am giving you money here for these things, and it wasn't enough.
People's eyeballs. No matter how much you can get their attention, it still doesn't matter if the policies that you are getting in front of them with are dog shit. Okay, that's it. You can burn $1 billion. You can spend $1 billion saying, I'm a small business. I'm going to give $50,000 in tax credits to small businesses. But that's not an impactful message. That's not a good policy that you can be identified with, right? That's not like a holistic message. That's not something that you can actually present to as broad a base as possible. This is part of the reason.
Is this not a perfect example of why we need to exile these people from the Democratic Party? Yes, but I think people are noticing. I'm just like collecting them all because I feel like this is just like, I feel like it's just the perfect litmus test to see who stands where on things, basically. Oh wait, what's going on? Are they arguing this on Live and Learn right now?
The article. She included a reference there in the article.
Somebody said I would get triggered.
And was frankly transparent about that from the beginning. So, you know,
I think that's not playing the same game, but still using the resources. You're not disarming, but you're being more transparent about it.
Do you think that, so like, yes or no, do you think the left should take advantage of dark money funding?
Yes, I think the gold standard is to do, like Kyle Klinsky always talks about this, and I agree with it. He says the gold standard is default ads and memberships. I think that is the gold standard. I think that content creators should strive for that level of independence. I commend people who are able to do it. You know, I would love to do it at some point. By the way, I'm not taking money from any other group. You guys know, you'll know about any revenue source related to my content. But
I did apply Chorus. You guys should too. Apparently they pay a lot.
So to the extent that you're able to do the gold standard, what I take to be the gold standard, I think you should, and I think that should be, we should strive for that. That said, I don't think that we need to just like not accept money from these organizations that are willing to fund liberal creators. Not only do I think that we don't need to unilaterally disarm that way, I think that we were asking for this after this election. I think we've been pining for more resources to be funneled into these kind of online spaces.
That's why you started it, right?
Yeah, and that's why I tweeted out that I thought that Brian was frankly transparent about that from the beginning. So, you know, I commend him for taking this effort. I wish they had disclosed the specific creators, but you know, just disclose and move on and let's do it.
Pisco, what if this has a negative impact on people pouring money into the space because they don't want to be associated with some anti-Gaza, like anything like that? Now all of a sudden you've got people who are willing to donate tens of millions of dollars that maybe are hesitant to now.
I think that this, I'm going to take the optimistic tone which you often strike, IRI, is I think that this is probably, in the end, on net, better for Chorus. I think that more eyes are now on Chorus. I think that the response has been quite harsh against the article. Even if there are, and I think that there's, you know, 1 or 2 salient critiques by Taylor. In general, I think most of us acknowledge that it's a fucking hit piece, and a lot of it's in bad faith, and a lot of it's disingenuous. We haven't talked all about that yet, but I think in general, people are seeing through that hit piece angle of it, the disingenuous attacks, and are seeing it for what it is, and the facts speak for themselves. And so I don't think that it's been like mortally wounded. To the contrary, I think that now that more people know about it, and now that it's more in you know, people's minds,
well,
it's going to be more successful.
But what about just people who want to donate in general? Maybe they'll be a little more hesitant in the future now because of all this brouhaha.
I'm not so sure. I think it's overstating the importance of the very people that are making these kinds of attacks, and I don't think they're going to be quelled by these kinds of attacks, especially if they're seeing the kind of backlash against it and the rallying around the flag that a lot of the libs are doing. And so I'm not so convinced that this has been a mortal blow on these kinds of efforts. And so I won't go that far. And I think that the future is bright for lib content creators, and we should continue to encourage that.
I saw a question in the chat. I have to ask it, which is, we kind of touched on this, but should we immediately be preemptively disclosing anytime we are paid, or just say yes if anyone asks?
I don't know why that's the dichotomy. I think that you should disclose non-trivial amounts of money and content streams for which there is a exchange, like some kind of mutual promise. If there's a mutual promise for money, not just anytime someone donates, a mutual promise for money where there's some kind of binding on both parties, you should disclose non-trivial amounts that are related to your content. I don't say you disclose for your Domino's pizza run, or like if you have a paper route, or if you are making money doing legal representation on the side, or if you're making money doing other stuff on the side. I think that you don't need to disclose that revenue stream, but as a social norm, I think it's important to disclose that.
You don't need to do it like every single time you go live. But if you have like a regular community, and you know, you put like a Discord message, pin a message, or something like that. I had a Nightbot command when I was doing PV stuff. Like, it's just generally, I think, a good idea to disclose these kinds of things. There's just like what's legally required. So we have these guidelines to tell people, you know, when is it actually required. In this case, it wasn't. You know, and I think, yeah, it's just up to the creator, I think, man. I don't think at the end of the day, it's yeah, go ahead.
Did I miss Destiny spanking David/LML? Where did Dave run? Wait, what's LML? Oh, wait. Red Team Review. You're a Game of Thrones guy. The guy on Twitter? Those people will never talk to me. And they shouldn't. They're cowards.
Bring up a good point though, Hutch. Like, how do you disclose this to satisfy the masses? Because you said it, I said it on stream a couple times. It's like they're just going to keep moving the goalposts. Well, you didn't say it X number of times. You didn't say it before you did this. It's like, are you going to, you know? I don't even think you could satisfy people by disclosing it in any way at all. They'd say, oh, you only said it once, or you only had it on your website where nobody goes. Like, you just can't make these people happy. I
want to push back a little bit about on what you just said, Pisco, a moment ago, where you said, you know, like you don't think that this is going to have like a lasting impact. You think like, you know, I guess you were saying like liberal media is like, trending in the right direction. I think this did very real damage, and like that's what pisses me off. Because if you go in Brian's mentions, if you go in Pacman's mentions, if you look at their YouTube comments, it is a deluge of conspiracy brain rot nonsense. Promulgated in bad faith, maliciously by enormous creators. That's the kind of stuff that doesn't really like go away. Like, I would be shocked if a year from now, Brian wasn't still seeing comments accusing him of being an Israeli propagandist. And there's no accountability mechanism for this whatsoever. Like, these people in that space pounced on this story as quickly as they possibly could to push this narrative that liberal media and liberals in media are all super corrupt and they all work for the man in the system and they're all running cover for Israel. They're the like virtuous truth tellers that are, you know, speaking truth to power, and they're just doing it for the love of the game and all this shit. And it's in service of this narrative. And then once we saw all these responses that were thoroughly refuting some of the central premises in that article, these people doubled down. Like, they didn't incorporate any of the new information into their analysis. They kept pushing it. I reacted to a Hasan stream where he was watching the responses, but literally not even paying attention. He was looking at his own chat. And so they would say stuff like, Chorus had no say on what we were saying. Like there was no influence. We made our own appointments with politicians and did our own interviews, and that they had no creative kind of like input on what we were doing. And then he would pause the video and start talking about how the Democratic Party was paying influencers to push the party line. Yeah, that has tremendous lasting damage.
And it hurts more coming from the multimillionaire who I wish I'd have that much money.
And that motherfucker's never been Sargon.
My hope is, and my intuition is, that this will cause more eyes to be seen on Chorus, and that regardless of, I think that there are real costs imposed by this kind of coverage, no doubt, is that they'll come out ahead here, and that the backlash against the article, which has been fierce, it's not just been the case that we've seen overwhelmingly negative responses here. I think that there's been overwhelmingly negative responses to Taylor as well, and I think for good reason, because I think that this is, frankly, there are a lot of dishonest aspects of the article, and certainly even the post-article narrative, including on Taylor. Interview with Glenn Greenwald, among other.
That's wild that she's talking with him too, because he's so discredited, MAGA brained, anti, pro Gen 6, totally grifted hard. And the fact that she's on him,
she's on her.
I remember specifically their beef, and I took Taylor's side in that beef. And he has totally been ambassador, and so in a very kind of, I think, a very slimy way. Greenwald, who I don't like, and Taylor, who I don't like, had her on. And I think Taylor rightly called him out for his our favorite journalist, a very valuable member. And so yeah, I think that it's a little bit slimy some of these characters. But I just want to be clear about something. It's my intuition that Chorus will come out ahead. It's my hope. I will try to make it so that I'm at least spreading the narrative that I think is true, which is that they should have disclosed, but everything else is bullshit and frankly not worth your time in terms of the disingenuousness. But yeah, no, I guess I can't prove that to you, Hutch, but I recognize that is irresponsible.
No, I think your critique has been very fair. I think you have a reasonable take when it comes to disclosure, and I think your analysis so far has been appropriately critical of Taylor Lorenz. But I look like you wanted to talk.
I support what Pisco said. I think this is a huge advertising campaign for Chorus. I can't imagine how many people requested to sign up saying, holy shit, I can actually make some money and promote my content and use their resources. I think it's been great for Chorus. I think for money pouring into the space, I'm concerned that people might be hesitant to be dragged into this. And I think also the missing story here is that Taylor is projecting what she would do if she got money, because how else could you come up with this weird scenario? Because there's no evidence of anyone changing their opinions in any way. And it pisses me off because people like Olivia are being called out for supporting Alyssa Slotkin. I think back in May, she tweeted out, I really like Alyssa Slotkin. They're like, of course she does. This is why, because she was paid by Chorus. Look at all the signs behind me. People have been questioning me for years. You don't like Biden? No way. You can't like these people. I do. And I'm not paid to say that. So it undermines all of the support that people like me and Olivia have for these candidates that other people might disagree with.
Wait, IRI, close your eyes. Okay. Who is the person in the top right of your screen? What's her name?
Her name?
Yeah.
It would be your left.
Your left, but the top right of your camera. It's the green one.
That's also Brooks.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not a grifter.
But I want to respond to something though, IR, because I hear you. I love your positivity, and I love that you respect. And I think that you do respect your fellow content creator. But I think that maybe there is a bit of a self-report in what Lorenz is stating, especially I haven't looked into this allegation that she receives money from the same, or at least some entity that she's affiliated with, receives money from the same.
I can speak to that, by the way.
Sure. But I don't think it's a leap of logic for people look at this money, see the connection there. As left-wing people, I think we understand that money can have a particularly corrupt influence on people, on ideologies, on political discourse. And so I don't think it's such a leap for Taylor to suggest. Now, she hasn't tied it to any specific editorial control or ideological orthodoxy, so I agree with you totally on that. But on the mere notion that money influences people to act, I don't think that that's such a.
But don't you think she should have to at least be able to point to something, even just.
Was supposed to trigger Destiny here. This seems like, well, because now that Pisco is an enemy, people hate Pisco and everything he says. But I think I generally agree. I don't necessarily disagree with the disclosure thing, maybe, but I think reasonable minds could disagree on that. And then what IRI is about to bring up, certainly there was no strong evidence laid out here that there was some corrupting influence of this money at all in the way that Taylor and everyone else seems to be suggesting. That's the big issue.
I think that's such a.
But don't you think she should have to at least be able to point to something, even just if she can't connect the dots, just something, anything at all to make these accusations. That's like me saying
without solid evidence. Without solid evidence, it's just, hey, isn't this kind of weird? And then you have a 60-paragraph article about that. It's like, well, maybe, but did anything happen? And that's why the article is kind of a little bit misleading and a little bit more attacky and hit piecey, because there isn't a direct connection that she can point to and say, this is why it's bad. But to be clear, IRI, $100,000 a year will absolutely, even if it's not paying someone to change their opinion, they're going to feel obligated to at least align with the people who are especially if they're small.
For a small content creator, yes, but the small people are not getting $8,000. I guarantee it. They're probably getting $1,200 a month. It's not game-changing money. For the smaller guys, I'm saying.
I agree with you, IRI, that they need to, if they're going to make the specific allegation that there's ideological recentering or some kind of attempt here to protect the orthodoxy, and Taylor absolutely makes the connection and implies heavily that the Democratic Party, the Democrats, are either in charge with this effort or in line with this effort in some kind of formal way, or at least in some kind of, they're observing from afar and cackling at this notion. And so that connection is absolutely there. It's absolutely implied. Beyond that, the article contains falsehoods I pointed to in the past, including the notion that all communications with politicians need to be funneled through Chorus, which I think is blatantly contradicted by the contractual language that we've seen. It makes other kind of implications related to basically this all being done in totally secrecy, totally behind closed doors, when I think that there's a mixed record here in terms of the specific disclosure of the content creators receiving the money. But in terms of Chorus's overall mission, I think they've been transparent about that. It's not like they were hiding. So in general, I agree with you that they haven't made the connection for the specific allegations in the community, which are that this is all an effort from the DNC to protect Israel. And that is one of these accusations going around.
Well, Taylor's smart. She's not a stupid person. And Wired are, they have their own
I don't know Taylor's background. What is her motivation? Why for the MAGA? Why do they crap on it? Because she's like an ultra extremist, progressive, almost / I don't know if she does the tanky socialist stuff, but she has no problem destroying the Democratic Party because she doesn't think that they're far left enough on whatever issues.
Team that clears these kinds of kinds of things. So she framed things in such a way that it was like a dog whistle. So like she didn't come out and say that they were being paid to not talk about Israel, but then she said in like a tweet when she was talking about it, there's about 90 people in the program and most of them are centrist types that aren't really talking about Israel too much. So boom, that gives like the lefty space room to start throwing those accusations out, right? She doesn't come out and say that the Democratic Party are like coordinating with these influencers to push them to do specific messaging, but she says like toe the party line and stuff like that. And so she's also pretty savvy when it comes to social media, and so she's obviously very, very cozy with Hasan at this point. And so what does she do shortly after she posts the article? She goes, I can confirm that Hasan Piker was not approached for this. So like elevating, somehow inserting him in a story that had nothing to do with him in an effort to like make him look like.
Well, you say that, but she included him in the article. She put reference in the article.
That's true, but like she, yeah, that's right. I mean, like she put it in the article, right? But like, so like she's baiting him to like read her article on stream, which he does, which generates her traffic, and so she knows that Hasan's audience are super devoted and they're super passionate, they're super engaged, and they will like sort of.
Jane Mayer, it's a very interesting book about how this works, but essentially just the idea of you don't know where these funding sources are coming from. In certain organizations, I don't know if it's the 501(c)(3)s, but you don't have to disclose who these donors are. It's just, hey, we get funding, and like for example, if you were to look at DNC funding, I think they have a receipt.
Okay.
Reason why I like universal programs. And I kept repeating this over and over again throughout the campaign, and Democrats yelled at me for it. They were like, you're attacking Kamala Harris, and you're the reason why she's losing, blah, blah, blah. All this, you're the reason why she lost. Anyway, Mitch Voter says, I always thought the Dem influencer hyping Biden felt like reassuring middle-aged people that Biden had young support rather than actually expand his appeal and outreach to young Dem voters, which is true. That is precisely what these guys do. Olivia does this role. Like, this is her role. Her goal is not dissimilar to Charlie Kirk in that same vein. Like, Charlie Kirk only recently started reaching a younger audience because of TikTok. But for the majority of his career, his goal was to get money. His goal was to get money from right-wing Republican mega donors like Foster Freeze and basically lie to them that they were making an impact with the youth vote. Okay, only until TikTok, college campus like debate, the college campus debate videos did Charlie Kirk actually start securing some kind of prominence in a younger audience, and that wasn't because of Charlie Kirk either. That was because there was a dramatic shift happening within the right-wing youth. Okay, that wasn't because of Charlie Kirk. Trump might say it's because of Charlie Kirk, but it is a broader systemic failure born out of the way that the Democrats have presented themselves to the youth, and just the way that they have been completely unable to address any of these issues like the affordability crisis and whatnot. Whereas Donald Trump was seen as a mover and shaker in this area. He said, I'm going to be a mallet. I'm going to hatchet through these institutions that haven't helped you, right? And that's why he was able to make an impact, especially with young people. Now, that impact is whittling away because young people who were too young to remember the COVID era, okay? Young people who were too young to remember.
What? How young are we talking here? What?
Mover and shaker in this area. He said, I'm going to be a mallet. I'm going to hatchet through these institutions that haven't helped you, right? And that's why he was able to make an impact, especially with young people. Now, that impact is whittling away because young people who were too young to remember the COVID era, okay? Young people who were too young to remember what Trump 1 looked like, that became like more invested in politics because now they're 18 plus, right? This past election cycle, were willing to take a gamble again with Donald Trump, okay? That's it. There were a lot of young people who were willing to take a gamble. It's part of the...
Bro, young people willing to take a gamble. Young people aren't gambling anything. They don't know anything about anything. Do you think an 18-year-old has a strong opinion on what healthcare and taxation should, not to be mean, but like what are we talking about? What?
That is COVID. Part of that is having lockdowns in your more formative years throughout your adolescence when you're supposed to be like around other people and like, going down the wrong rabbit holes, right? That's part of it. I mean, it's a massive, massive issue, right? In any case, the Democrats are not going to solve this problem by just like simply putting a ton of money into content creators who do not make this impact, who do not have this impact. They need to try to figure out why some content creators do actually have staying power in this space. Not to hype myself up too much, but, why is it that so many of these other guys don't actually have that motion? Why is it that they don't have this kind of motion with young people in general? Why is it that some of these guys simply do not have any staying power amongst the youth at all? It's because they are there to defend the Democratic Party. Whereas on the Republican media ecosystem, the fake independent Republican content creators are in tune with the base's demands. That's why the Jeffrey Epstein stuff was like a big point of controversy, a big point of drama, because the base was demanding more information.
But it wasn't. It was there for a few days or a week maybe. That one lasted a week, I guess I'll give them that. And now it's basically gone.
And the administration was like, for the first time ever, not giving them that treat. And that's why they were like, what the fuck do you mean you're not going to give us the Jeffrey Epstein details? Hold on now. And the Trump administration did what? Find other red meat to throw at the base. Instead of just being like, all right, first they behaved like Democrats. First they panicked and behaved like Democrats. And they kept saying, oh, this is not a real thing. This is not a real thing. Don't care about this. If you care about this, you're stupid. And then everyone was like, the fuck do you mean? You told us to care about this. So then they turned around and tried to find different things to make people pay attention to, like Obama, remember Obama. And now they're moving on from the conversation a little bit. I think it'll still come back. But ultimately, the Republicans they make better assessments about their base's interest. They try to find things that they care about and offer them red meat. I think that this method that the Democrats are deploying here by using like Brian Tyler Cohen and all these other people, especially in this like incredibly shady way, is only effective if the Democrats are willing and able to change their
messaging on Gaza, on the genocide. Gaza.
If the Democratic Party unironically decides that they are the Medicare for all party.
Oh, and Medicare for all. Sorry, Gaza, Medicare for all. Are we going to do $25 an hour minimum wage? Is that what we're asking for now? $30 an hour minimum wage?
Okay. If they decide that they are the anti-Israel, anti-genocide party.
Yes! King!
Of course!
I haven't added this in a while. I need Israel things.
For example, it sounds laughable to even bring this up because you're like, they're never going to do that. But if they were to do that, and then they pumped all of these content creators who will be loyal soldiers that defend the Dems regardless, then they could actually make an impact. Otherwise, this is no different than having $1 billion fucking that you burned with messaging bad policies and putting bad policies in front of people and then losing the election in the same exact way that they lost the election last time.
What is this thing here? Taylor Lorenz, yeah, I did a free promo for a product I liked. I'm not selling you phones, nor am I a spokesperson for any phone companies. I know you don't like the truth getting in the way of inflammatory content. Also, Taylor Lorenz, paid partnership. That's why I'm proud to partner with the Bark phone. Wait, what? What is this? I know how overwhelming it can be to help your kid stay safe online. That's why I love what Bark is going to give. What does this have to do with anything? Taylor Lorenz, I'm not selling phones. Also, that's why I'm proud to partner with Bark Phone, a phone made for kids age 6 to 15. Yeah, I did a free promo for a product I liked. It was a free promo? Really? I'm not selling phones, nor am I a spokesperson for any phone companies. I know you don't like the truth getting in the way of inflammatory content. Sharing comment from Bark directly, confirming that I was not paid by them. And I'm not a spokesperson for any Bark products. I promote stuff that I like/use all the time for free, as was the case here. I am, however, being paid by the Amidyar Network as a reporter in residence. This is if you're going to call dark money fund or whatever, this is a dark money fund, by the way, but... Hi, Taylor. Thank you so much for recognizing and publicly sharing about our safer tech for families. We both know how empowering the internet can be, but also how dark algorithms can get, especially for vulnerable kids. I'd also like to confirm that you did not accept payment from Bark for this post. You are not a paid spokesperson, and your content was based on your own assessment of our products and services. Again, we really appreciate your support. Feel free to share this with anyone who has any questions. These are very specific claims. For this post, so she did using money for other ones and then not a paid spokesperson? What does spokesperson mean? The easy way to see is what was the original post. I generally mark all free promotional content I make with the promotional label on IG and TikTok, even when it's unpaid, in order to be extra careful about being transparent and compliant. But clearly this led to confusion. I will not be adding the label so no one gets confused. Did she have a... Why would she put... That's why I'm proud to partner with Bark. Taylor Lorenz, Bark...
Taylor Lorenz, serial liar, cry-bully, influencer journalist, and defamation machine, who I once sued for libel, just got exposed
full screen button? Am I retarded?
phones designed for
Why do I keep getting mentioned by this person in videos?
6 years old. When a Vox journalist called out the conflict of interest, she threatened lawsuits, called everyone liars, and played victim. But Taylor Lorenz is funded by the Amidyar Network, which has strict ethics policies that she appears to have violated. We're going to break down every hypocritical moment with full receipts. Today we're out with this video and they're being sold to.
What the fuck? Okay. Jesse Single did a piece on this. I'm going to say further commentary for Bar Pod, where I promise we will discuss other matters as well. Here's my understanding based on text with Taylor Lorenz and what she said online of the current situation from Bark. If Taylor has any quibbles with any of the factual claims here, she can say so, and I'll correct the ship data accordingly. Please read the replies because if there are further, I think it would be useful to have the actual established facts on the table. Journalists, myself included. Okay, Taylor promoted Bark phones. She marked that promotional content as promotional, fully kashrut. Is that a Jewish expression? Is Jesse Single Jewish? I don't even know. The fuck does that mean? When Vox's Rachel Cohen Booth raised the COI issue, Taylor simultaneously advocating hard against bans. The COI is conflict of interest, sorry. Simultaneously advocating hard against bans on phones in schools, as has been her stance for a while. Taylor began calling Rachel a liar, tagging her employer, and asking Twitter for a lawyer, presumably to help her go after Booth. Taylor insisted that this was what follows, in my terminology and interpretation, effectively a pro bono ad. She promoted the company because she liked it, using the comment, proud to partner with language of a sponsorship. I would just flat out disagree. I'm not even going to couch this in like maybe just in my industry. There is no industry where proud to partner with implies anything other than paid sponsorship. You won't see that anywhere else. That's just never going to be the case. The promotion included a link in her Instagram bio that redirected to an affiliate URL, a page where you could sign up for Bark. Okay, so if it was an affiliate, then she was also getting paid to do an affiliate promotion. In a different context, this is how affiliate marketing / payouts work. The person who disseminates the link gets a cut because, as was the case here, the URL includes a string of tracking characters identifying who sent the purchaser to the purchasing page. But in this case, according to Taylor and to Bark leadership, Taylor was not getting paid. Rather, Taylor's described this to me as a courtesy to Bark and acknowledged that it will allow Bark to track how effective her pro bono advertising was. I would need to see something more clear of that. This language is phrased very carefully to work with, this is phrased very carefully to work with an affiliate link, basically. So let's say that I create an affiliate link. Let's say I have affiliate links for Amazon. Let's say I create an affiliate link for a product and I go to sell it, and somebody's like, oh, so you promote them, you're sponsored by them, you're working with them. It's like, hold on, actually. I'd also like to confirm that you did not accept payment from Bark for this post. That's true. This is not like an individual activation where she made a post and she was given compensation for it. She just got money through the affiliate link, I would imagine. You are not a paid spokesperson. This implies a relationship beyond an affiliate marketing program. And your content was based on your own assessment of our products and services. Even people that sell sponsorships will say that it's generally based on your own assessment. You're not getting paid. They're not giving you a script, generally speaking. I'm just trying to think of the process of how would you sign up for an affiliate marketing program, but then say that you don't want to get paid for it. Like, that's all going to be automatically handled unless you literally email them and you say, hey, I'm signing up for your affiliate link. Can you just never pay me? Like, I don't even know how you would do that. So summing up, the idea is that Taylor is trying to help Bark out by providing them with marketing information about her effectiveness as someone who can promote Bark phones, but that she isn't doing this for any personal benefit. Rather, again, Taylor's argument is that it's just a common courtesy and common practice to do a pro bono ad for a brand that includes a link allowing them to track your performance. Taylor says she doesn't have access to this data. She doesn't have access to how much money she sells via an affiliate marketing link. I've probably done 50 of these. I've never in my life heard of not having the ability to track sales. That's the whole point of having an affiliate link. What? Okay. This isn't how anything works. You want to be a public commentator who also does pro bono advertising. You have to be able to answer basic conflict of interest questions. Is it true if you have a large platform and take yours? Please stop posting about me. This was just a few days ago. Does nobody know how anything in any industry works? How can she get away with lying about everything? What is this? How would you even sign up for an affiliate marketing program? Generally, if you're not approached directly by either an advertising agency, or if it doesn't come through your talent agency, or if it doesn't come from the company themselves, then you're just going onto their website and you're signing up for the affiliate marketing link. If you're signing up for an affiliate marketing link, it's going to include a standard terms of payout. How are you saying I don't want to get paid? Would you email them and ask? Let's check Bark Phones affiliate. Apply now. What does this look like? Have a positive impact. Make a profit. Yes, you get paid. Join a program with heart and have a positive impact while earning revenue. I'm not going to even go through this. I already know. There's not going to be a way to sign up and say, I don't want to take any money. That doesn't make any sense. Commissions can be earned for every valid sale or subscription sign up that help you drive. This is also why you know your sales. You have to know on an affiliate market. How could they hide that information from you? How do you even know how much money you're getting paid for? It doesn't make any sense. What? I'm going to lie about everything from now on. I changed my mind. How does nobody know anything about anything in this industry when it comes to signing contracts or when it comes to doing anything? I don't understand. It looks like she was really doing it for free. No clue why. Show me where. Wait. Okay, hold on. Okay, so it took me some back and forth, but Taylor Lorenz shared with me a link. Oh, we saw these the other day. Oh, but now we have more context, I think. That said this. That said was sent to her from her manager's assistant. Taylor does so much work. How much money is this woman worth? She doesn't just have a manager sending her stuff. It was her manager's assistant for her own, personal company or what? Who the fuck is she? Taylor Lorenz Gates? What? When Taylor first wanted to promote Bark, it's the affiliate marketing agreement Bark uses via Impact, but all the terms are set to 0. What if she's saying she can't read the data on the back end? And if she's saying that she's not making any money, assuming we believe this, that she didn't just zero out all these things, why is she even using their affiliate link? I don't understand. What is the point of this? What is her motivation for promoting it? Well, no. I can understand motivations for promoting things. I promote things. This mic has been okay so far. I'm pretty sure I've promoted things that I like in the past. I'm not getting paid for, but to have an affiliate link that's zeroed out? Like what? That I'm also saying I have no access to any of the data for? I don't know. I still don't wrap my head around the concept of free advertising, but we're going to do this segment and move on. The idea is to suggest that other brands have partnered with you, and thus it's a rational thing that somebody might want to do. It's a way of having a portfolio that you can use to generate future business. Why would you just not get paid for it then? This doesn't make any money. You're getting the worst of all worlds. What is the point then? Is it to say that I'm not being influenced by them? There's no conflict of interest? There is a conflict of interest because you still are trying to make sales through this platform because you think it'll benefit your career. I'm curious what this. I think I already have an Impact account. Wait, I need to make sure it's the right thing. This piece of content was never included in my portfolio. LOL. I was giving a list of reasons why I make various pieces of content. This specific content is not in any portfolio. What the hell are you talking about? What? Why do you do a free ad? I promo stuff all the time because I like it, because my manager suggests I do it, because I want examples from my portfolio of the type of branded content I can make so I can pitch other brands. Because my friend works for the brand. Brands do UGC campaigns all the time. Why would you... Your manager suggested that you pretend that you're sponsored by companies? Okay. By the way, I'm sponsored by NordVPN. Where is it? NordVPN, by the way. Wait, this is just the standard. Hold on. No. Bark, affiliate, sign up, phone. It's this, right? Bark.us? This is the phone? Make a profit. This is it, right? Help protect kids? Okay, let's go. Sign up. These are the default terms listed. What else did she send? Where was his tweet? Oh, we've got paid subscriptions here. Okay, was that zeroed out at least? Also, this isn't even the contract. These are just the terms for you to accept. Generally, once you've agreed, here we go. Once you've agreed, you'll probably be emailed something, I imagine, like this. This looks more like an actual contract. And they'll email you a DocuSign or something, and then you'll put a signature, they'll put a signature, and then they'll have a copy or whatever. Link me the... What was the Jesse tweet again? Okay, so it took some back and forth, but Taylor Lorenz shared with me a link that she said was sent to her from her manager's assistant when she first wanted to promote Bark. It's the affiliate marketing agreement Bark uses via Impact, but all the terms... So this is a lie. Her manager's assistant logged in, because in order to get to this page, you have to log in, or you have to go to the Bark page. So this is what the manager says. Oh, okay, hold on. So we go to the started thing, we click Let's Go, and then we come up to this default... Oh, then we click sign up. This is what the manager's assistant did? Okay. And then we have... Wait. This is the exact same thing. Look at the links. Look at what Jesse links. Look. This is exactly the... Does nobody do any homework on anything? Is it really this bad out here right now? It's the exact... Wait, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. No, it is. 1660415498963267853. It's literally the exact fucking same thing. What? She sent him the fucking page. She just went to the thing and sent him the page. What? Okay, contract term for Bark, parental controls. Okay, but maybe she included somehow this paid subscription part and it was on 0. So this is 1. Added payment, this is 0. Okay, the next one. Paid subscription. Okay, this says 30. This looks a little different. So this is default. Okay, this looks different. Why though? How? It doesn't make sense that you would send this page. Wait. Okay, this is different. I don't understand what's going on here. This is not a contract. Somebody is lying here. So this is weird because on this part of the page here, okay, first of all, look at the side here. One, we can literally see that this is just the sign up, right? Because look, it's literally got the continue button down at the bottom. So this is just the sign up for the affiliate link thing, okay? So that's weird. Number one, we didn't get an actual signed contract, okay? Number one. Number two, look at the scroll bar, okay? We can see the scroll bar here. We have this added payout 0 thing here. Okay. What? I don't understand what this page is. Maybe the affiliate thing looked different at one point, but it almost looks like this payout detail thing. Oh, no, wait, not this one, not this one. I think the next one. The paid subscription page? Wait. The paid subscription page just looks like a reprint of this sign up page, right? Because under paid subscriptions down here, right? This is a $30 USD payment, and hers it says 0. And then you have payout details. These are the payout groups, and then you've got the payout restrictions. But under the paid subscription thing here, it's just a reprint of what's here, right? For the sign up things, right? Sign up 00. She put paid subscription 00, but then it's just like payout details, schedule, action locking, invoicing, payout scheduling, and then qualified referrals is down here. Now maybe they've changed the way that it looks, but this is nothing. What is this? This is just nothing. I wonder what this even means. Okay, what is this? What are we talking about here? So Bark, I'm guessing Bark is some like cell phone. They might have inspected element edited sign up to paid subscription. Maybe. So contract terms for Bark parental controls. Okay, we have signups. So these are people who sign up to the service, I would imagine. Payout details. So we get $0 per sign up initially, I guess. Schedule. Action locking. Actions are locked 27 days after the end of the day they are tracked. I don't know what actions are here. Actions are invoiced on the 3rd of the month after they lock. I'm guessing the action is somebody signing up for Bark. That's what this means. Oof, close. Fuck is my... Ugh, never mind. Okay. Actions are invoiced within a month. Approved transactions are paid 20 days after the end of the day they're invoiced. Invoicing. Oh, you have to invoice them for payment, I think? Okay. Qualified referrals. Credit policies last click. So if they click your link and then somebody else's, then you don't get anything. Referral window. All referrals from clicks are within 30 days. Okay. Added payment $0. Payout details. Default payment 0 per order. Scheduling. Okay. Qualified referrals. Winner of sign up. Allow winning referrals from parent actions within 60 days. I don't know how this works. The fuck. Sign up. Is added payment maybe if you pay for something extra for the, or as added payment when you do second month of service? I don't know. Paid subscription is 30 USD. Oh, wait a second. Is this how much a customer pays? This isn't your payout detail. This is how much a customer pays. Is Bark like a thing that's free to sign up for and then you pay for like a subscription? Is that what this is maybe? Hold on. Bark phones. Children. No, that looks like a payout amount for those triggers. That's what I would assume, but you've got a default payout and a sign up thing here. So I'm just curious. Well, I don't know. Let's keep reading. Paid subscription $30, payout details. Rank 1. Item SKU is Bark Premium Annual Bonus. 2,000 to 39 revenue is $50. 4,000. Okay, so you get paid more per sale based on how much revenue you sell. Note that bonus payout increase will be paid in the form of a monthly performance bonus. Condition. Order promo code is CenturyLink Velo. Okay, payout restrictions. Okay, bonus tiers. Payout will be increased. Schedule. Okay, okay. Oh, this is the schedule for everything. Okay. This is on every single thing. Okay. So it's possible that this just changed completely. It's possible, but again, this is not even a contract. Bark phone is present, is present, is present. Okay, that doesn't say anything. Okay, hold on. I gotta... Blomp, 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 blomp. Stop! Oh. Bark, affiliate, sign up, phone. Doot, 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 doot. It's super easy to create fake screenshots that the guy showed. The code is very easy to change in the client. Oh, sure, if you want to do the inspect element, but I don't know if that's what happened here. But you don't even need to show an inspect element change. This is what she sent wasn't even like an agreed to contract. This was just pictures from. What a strange bird she is, advertising for free. Yeah, always believed she was getting paid on this one, but that's not to say there's no. This just isn't making any sense. It's not. Somebody's lying here. This doesn't make any sense. The company hosting that sign up is impact.com. Did anyone ever reach out to them? Couldn't believe that the link for the promo would be the same if the page changed. Well, Impact is just like, that's like an affiliate managing thing. Like, I'm pretty sure I have an account on Impact. I've been paid by them before. Impact just like manages affiliate marketing for a ton of different companies. I mean, theoretically, Bart could set her terms to 0, but I feel like that would be written out in a contract somewhere or something. Wait. Destiny, my reading of that tweet is that Taylor sent Jesse a referral link and he clicked it and took the screenshots. Wait, what? That's how you read that? Okay, so it took some back and forth, but Taylor shared with me a link that she said was sent to her from her manager's assistant when she... Oh, true. But what is... But then what is the... Oh, so wait, so these are Jesse's pictures? Then what even is... I don't even know what the fuck the point of this is. I have no idea what the fuck this is. I don't know what the fuck anybody's doing out here. If she had an affiliate link, she was getting paid. I'll just say that, okay? She can sue me otherwise. That's... Check out his tweet about Chorus. I don't know why Jesse posted that. I don't understand. While any of the course creators share their contract, that would instantly settle the question of factual inaccuracies in the Wire article. Of course, won't let them. That, of course, only kicks the can down the road. I think most contracts have NDAs as being standard. The question, though, especially if Jesse's a journalist, the question should be, why didn't Taylor Lorenz publish the contract? She's not under any NDA obligation. She didn't sign anything. Holy shit. Having a professional portfolio is extremely normal, though. Not from free sponsors. That's absolutely not normal.
Time around. That's it. The fact that somebody thinks that I'm a young person that can have the political leanings of Bernie Sanders is part of the reason we lost many young men in droves. I'm not being paid to speak my beliefs. I just don't let you all believe me for being who I am. Don't like it tough. I haven't been paid a dime to do anything in Texas politics, by the way. It turns out she was. Don't know who else to let folks. There's a...
Wait, when was the chorus thing? When did they sign up for that? Turns out she was. This tweet was made in February, and she's talking about something earlier than this. How long have people even been in this course program?
My beliefs. I just don't let you all believe me for being who I am. Don't like it tough. I haven't been paid a dime to do anything in Texas politics, by the way. It turns out she was.
This is January 30th of 2024. Did chorus even exist then? What?
Many young men in droves. I'm not being paid to speak my beliefs. I just don't let you all believe me for being who I am. Don't like it tough. I haven't been paid a dime to do anything in Texas politics, by the way. It turns out she was. Don't know who else to let folks. There's a subplot in politics happening because apparently someone's paying GOP influencers outside of Texas to say specific things about Texas politics because influencers in Texas have to disclose if they're being paid for a political post. It's just crazy that she like talked about how she wasn't paid for this shit at all for the long. Influencers in Texas have to disclose if they're...
In January of 2024. Okay.
being paid for a political post. It's just crazy that she like talked about how she wasn't paid for this shit at all for the longest goddamn time. Why are you trying to start a war between the left just because Pac-Man and BTC aren't as left as you are?
Oh, a little liberal got swept up in here. Oh, he's a little liberal. He thinks Hasan is on the left and not just a fucking commie. Oh.
But isn't it good to help other creators on the left? Pac-Man isn't even in there. Why are you lying? Wait, what? 26 month subscriber? I'm not. I don't want to start a war between the left. Okay. First of all, I'm sorry. One of the most pressing issues right now is Israel. Okay.
Oh my God. If we go to Hasan's stream right now, is he talking about Israel? Oh, little bro's not streaming. Did he talk about Israel today? We're going to go random timestamp, okay? 3:30. 6 hours ago. Let's go. 3.
Prices made both the Japanese and Chinese consumers feel richer.
30. A primer on Jewish-Israeli public opinion. Israeli Jews separate the war from the genocide. The war, they say, is being mismanaged, should be halted until hostages come home. The genocide is all on the Palestinians. We wouldn't do it if we did not have to do it. They started their animals. There is no other way. Okay. Israeli society will not revolt, not even against the war. Israeli Jews have invested all the symbolic and actual capital they have in the genocide. Israeli Jews understand what the world thinks of them. They ascribe it to anti-Semitism as old as the world itself, without relation to Israel's actions. They will not engage the world initially. Some may take provocative action. Ultimately, they will cease traveling, circle the wagons, and convince themselves that they are right because the world hates them and the world is beset by woke woes. Israelis will not accede to the existence of a present. Everything will happen. That is the true point of never again. It is only for us because of the real people, because the only real people are Jews, and the only real thing that can happen is an attempt to annihilate the Jews. Everything else is fake. Jesus Christ.
And it's an unimaginably popular issue to hold on to. And if you're an independent content creator that's being paid to defend the Democratic Party, and you don't actually disclose that information, and you also simultaneously never say anything about the most popular issue that you could be on board with, then obviously I'm going to take issue with that, because I'm going to take issue with that for two reasons. One, because it's immoral, in my opinion, to stay quiet in the face of such tremendous injustice. But beyond the immorality of it all, it's also insane. It's also stupid from a political point of view. If you want the Democrats to win, if you're a blue no matter who type of person, why the f aren't you yelling at the influencers that refuse to speak on this? And why the f aren't you yelling at the goddamn party that refuses to speak and communicate on this? From a partisan perspective, you know what I mean? I know, but they aren't Democrats. What are you saying?
Loser, dude.
This is the problem, because the Democrat base, okay? The Democrat base's opinion, the opinion that you hold that like the party is infallible, we must defend it, is the reason why the party gets away with just being bad, okay?
Go make your own party. Nobody wants you here. Nobody likes you. Just go make your own party. If your positions are so popular and so ubiquitous among young people, go make a socialist party and then take them all. And then you can do it. Boom. You'll siphon off 90%, because don't you guys cite these stupid fucking polls all the time saying like 80% of Dems like fucking hate Israel? Then go make your own party and take over. Easy.
The party gets away with being a corporate subsidized lighter version of the Republicans. We need the party to fight, okay? We need the party to fight for your rights, my rights, everybody else's rights. We need the party to actively combat growing fascism in this country. This is not a joke. You know, it's happening right now every single day. The issue is the goal of these guys is to basically delude the masses into thinking that it's good. It's good that the Dems are not saying anything about Gaza, you know? You shouldn't care about that at all. Look, Donald Trump is stupid. He's going to die any moment now. Like, and of course they arrive at like correct issues with regular frequency, because like ultimately being in opposition to the Republicans is correct, right? But the problem is you need to go beyond that. You need to demand that the party actively defend Americans. You need the party to actively defend immigrants. You need the party to actively defend the principle of being against genocide. And if you don't do that, then you lose the space to grifters and charlatans on the right. There is a reason why Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene have made tremendous impact. They are out and about loudly screaming about how much they oppose Israel.
That's not the only reason why these people are Marjorie Taylor Greene is an elected lawmaker. Tucker Carlson's the most famous news pundit in America for years.
And they're benefiting from it. They're benefiting from it because there is a massive void on the left side on this pivotal issue that everyone can see is abhorrent. How do you not see this? A lot of people tune this out when I talk about it because they think, oh, Hasan, you're being a pussy again. All you care about is Gaza, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm making two different arguments here. I'm not even making the morality argument when I say this, okay? Even though that is first and foremost the most consequential part of this conversation. But even from a pure, amoral, calculated political stance that you are taking, from a partisan perspective, you should never allow Marjorie Taylor Greene to be the leading voice in Congress on refusing to send weapons to Israel. Never. That's crazy. That is a massive failure, especially when there are party members in the Democratic lineup that have been punished aggressively for being champions on this cause, whether it be Rashid Tlaib or Ilhan Omar, or even AOC. People have yelled at them, okay? So when the tide is actually shifting and more Americans every single day are coming on board with this reality, for the Dems to just like kind of sit around and not do anything and not say anything and allow Marjorie Taylor Greene to ever be one of the leading voices in this conversation is a massive failure. For the for the liberal content creators to not actively be the guys that you go to hear about what the f is going on in Gaza and create a void in that media ecosystem is basically handing that to Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson. A lot of you guys, if you still defend the liberal content creators who don't speak on this issue, and you defend the Democratic Party that doesn't speak on this issue convincingly, are not realizing that this is a massive failure, a massively consequential failure that is causing people to think, well, these are the earnest guys. I guess the only real ones out there that are speaking out against Israel are right-wingers. It makes you wonder why would they keep their mouth shut on this issue? Because they care only about donors and they care about defending the Democratic Party. This is a problem. And it's an especially annoying problem when the issue is so obvious and also no longer an unpopular one. Okay? A lot of people that came before these cynical people, these grifters, already did the work. Okay, they already put their reputation on the line. They got slandered and smeared endlessly, but it was nothing. Obviously, it was nothing in the grand scheme of things. It was all worth it, because as long as you can convert people to seeing the truth about what Israel is doing in Gaza, whether it's one person or 1,000 people, it's worth it. Okay, all the death threats, all the smears, all the lies, it's nothing in comparison to being able to actually be on the right side of history and to be able to convert people so they also apply pressure and potentially one day down the line put an end to this madness, put an end to this bloodshed.
The infighting has always been bad, right? But I think like this new emergence of Palestine.
Damn, he hates me so much. I love what he's doing. I love what Unfuck America's doing. Okay, I'm a part of this, whatever it is. I want to do the events with him. But like, is Unfuck America this massive national, international thing that everybody's talking about? Like, why is Hasan even watching this? Like, how many views does this video have that he's watching right now? Is it just because of my association with it?
Israel has really just completely shaken up the whole party, because it's almost as if you could be the furthest left person you've ever met. You could say, I don't want borders, ACAB, all the.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm so confused right now. 1 second. Okay, so it took some back and forth with Taylor. Lorenz shared with me a link that says she was sent from her manager's assistant when she first wanted to promote Bark. This isn't the signed agreement. It's just a screenshot of the agreement on the webpage. Go to the website, and the URL I see is the same as the one in the pictures. Link? Wait, aren't these Jesse's screenshots? I'm so confused. What's happening? He doesn't know it's the same link. Oh, maybe he just doesn't know it came from the affiliate marketing. He thought, wait, did he think that a unique link got sent to him though? That he could just sign up to the, what? I don't.
The things, right? But if you say, I don't have a position on Palestine and Israel, then you are the enemy, right? And this is part of the issue, is that we are finding reasons to shrink our tent. And in a time where we should be expanding.
That's, by the way, you are shrinking the tent. You are shrinking the tent.
Then.
Hold on. I want to know what this podcast is. Is this like a YouTube video with like 2,000 views? Oh no, it's a tweet. My bad. Always a tweet.
You are the enemy, right?
Is there any way to get rid of this fucking title?
This is part of the issue.
Whose tweet is this?
Is that we are finding reasons to.
Oh, wait. Oh, Mike from PA. Good one. Do the magic thing. Can I make it do the magic thing? Text. The image. Oh my God. No, it's not. If I can read it, you can read it. Oh my God. Hold on. It got smaller on this monitor. 9611056670052721009. Okay. This is a Mike from PA tweet that he's looking at on stream. That is 3,000 likes. That is a quote tweet of this guy who likes to tweet revenge porn of me. That is 2.2 thousand likes. Why is... Do you think these guys are all obsessed? It can't all be because of me, right? I can't main character syndrome that much. Why? Total reported payments. Oh, so this was the company that she worked for, or was, or owned, or whatever? And then these are campaigns that paid her for consulting or help, I'm guessing? Okay.
To shrink our tent. And in a time where we should be expanding.
That's, by the way, you are shrinking the tent. You are shrinking the tent. There are more people that are pro-Palestine than pro-Israel right now, all around.
Then go make your own party. Leave, move, just move.
And when you don't take a stance against one of the most consequential issues of our time, it's clear black and white, by the way, is genocide, right?
It's clear black and white.
You got a majority of the American population even recognizing that it's genocide, and you won't take a stance on it. You are the one who's making the tent smaller, because people look at that and go, why the f should I trust you? You can't even say that this is a genocide and we have to put an end to it, even from a partisan perspective. It doesn't make any sense. This is not only a moral stance that you could take, but it's also now objectively a popular stance that you can take. So when you don't take a stance on this issue, all you're doing is telling people that you are bought and paid for. All you're telling people is that you are just like everybody else in mainstream news. You're just like everybody else in politics, refusing to actually listen to the cries coming from the base of support. You are refusing to listen to the demands, the reasonable and just demands that people are making that want to vote for the Democrats, that still feel like the Democrats are supposed to be the counterbalance against growing fascism around the world.
Our tent. This is where my personal frustration comes in, because I'm like, listen, we can all have our own beliefs and that's fine. The infighting.
I think this was immoral to say even in December 2023, because it was obvious what Israel was doing, right? But the very fact that you're still saying it now when the issue has swung dramatically in the opposite direction, in the direction of the truth, is insane. You are lying to yourself and lying to the people that are watching that podcast in order to continue justifying getting money from the Democratic Party, who doesn't want you to say those things, who doesn't want you to take an active stance on these things. Yeah, poll from October 2023. It's actually not surprising. I posted this on IG on October 2023 because support for cutting off weapons to Israel was already a 50-50 issue. 53% of Democrats were already saying that we should not send weapons and supplies to Israel on October 19th, 2023. 2 weeks after. This is a huge problem. 19th.
Okay.
2023. 2 weeks after. This is a huge problem. This is emblematic of the problem with Dem messaging, okay? They are too afraid to take a stance on anything. They're too afraid to lead. Or rather, when they do want to actively lead and change the attitude of the base, they only do so in the direction of moving right. The base could be like, hey, we want healthcare. What are you doing? And they'll be like, no, you can't have it. And you should stop asking us that. And it's actually bad and wrong to demand free healthcare. What the fuck do you want? When it comes to immigration, there'll be people in the base that are like, what are you doing? Immigrants are our neighbors. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. They're a part of our communities. Please stop saying immigrants are scary. Republicans are saying immigrants are rapist monsters. And then if you turn around and say, no, immigrants are actually a national security threat, the only time where you're unafraid to lead, I guess, is when you're trying to move your base more into the right wing. And if you do that, then of course you're going to lose elections to the right. And they're going to keep going more far right. There has never been a time in American history where the Democrats have been able to successfully outflank the Republican Party in contemporary American society. There's never been a moment where the Democrats have been able to successfully outflank the Republicans on right-wing sentiment. They do not own patriotism. They do not own the military. They do not own being the pro-war party. And they shouldn't, by the way, regardless. And they do not own cutting the welfare state, no matter how hard they gut it themselves. Okay? I have repeated this a million times over in my last 12 years of being a professional political commentator. And in that process, conditions have only gotten worse. And the Democrats have become even more feckless and even more right-wing in the process. And they just keep losing. And they keep losing to an increasingly...
Keep losing in the past 12 years? They won one election. They outperform in all of the congressional races. I mean, okay, but all right. Okay, Chief.
Worse, increasingly more violent, increasingly more belligerent right-wing. And they just keep going, I don't know how this happened. I guess it's because of the left. My mentality is there are blue no matter who voters, but they will always vote blue. They are not going to... If someone
that's what blue no... That's what vote blue no matter what. Or blue no matter who, that's what that means, yes.
Voting for Joe Biden, if someone is willing to vote for Kamala Harris, they're not going to not vote for Bernie Sanders. What, are you stupid? But there are plenty of other people that aren't even Democrat voters that don't consider themselves to be Democrats. And I'm not meaning like they're radical leftists or whatever, because there are certainly radical leftists or whatever that would vote for the Democrats if it was like a more radical candidate. But there are a lot of people who just simply don't vote that could be captivated into voting if the Democrats actually abided by at least like Bernie Sanders' message. Okay? And the blue no matter who guys are going to come along anyway. Because they're already harm reduction voters. This is true. I'm a field bee for Zoran and meta voter who doesn't like Zoran's policies, but will vote for him because he's the Dem. Exactly. Exactly. It's actually not surprising. I posted this in IG on October 2023 because support for cut-off weapons to Israel is already a 50-50 issue, and anyone with eyes could see what was about to happen. What is new in 2025 is that the elite opinion has now shifted against Israel. Yeah. Just a remarkable shift on military aid to Israel, by the way. Do you support or oppose the United States sending more military aid to Israel for their efforts in the war with Hamas? August 27th, 2025, yesterday, opposition is at 60%. 60% of those polled say they oppose the United States sending more military aid to Israel for their efforts in the war with Hamas. What are we doing? If you're still not talking about this, you must be getting paid to not talk about this. And it turns out that was the point. Maybe you genuinely organically also don't want to talk about it. And
that's just a lie. APAC Jew talking points. Okay.
It doesn't hurt on top of that, but it doesn't matter.
And debunk some important misinformation. Many of you have commented about this article that came out in the Wired asking if I've sold out, if I've taken money to push political talking points. The answer is no. Number one, this group never paid me for any content. This group never had control over any of my content. They never told me who to interview, what to say, or what not to say. They never once said you can't report on an issue. This group is a public cohort. Nothing was secret. And the point of it was to mentor smaller creators so that they can grow and that they can monetize their platform. And just like I've given speeches in the past or I mentored other creators in the past, this was no different. It had nothing to do with politics, had nothing to do with the political party, and had no control over the content that I ever made. And even the article writer, Taylor Lorenz, admits that. Aaron is correct that Chorus didn't pay them to post specific content. And she talks about disclosure requirements, but there was no payment for content. And so there's nothing to disclose. What this article is advocating for is that any of you have to disclose.
Wait, what? Did they get like a script or something to post this? How do you feel about engaging with people who hold anti-Israel sentiment that are not rooted in support for Palestinian liberation? I feel like a lot of the right are anti-Israel, but not for the best reasons, and it makes me uncomfortable engaging in conversation even if we agree with each other. How do you approach this?
Why does he read comments like that?
Any of you have to disclose.
Wait, what? Did they get like a script or something to post this? How do you feel about engaging with people who hold anti-Israel sentiment that are not rooted in support for Palestinian liberation? I feel like a lot of the right are anti-Israel, but not for the best reasons, and it makes me uncomfortable engaging in conversation even if we agree with each other. How do you approach this?
What, is he not going to respond to anything that guy just said?
You just got to hit them on avenues that they understand. Like right-wingers believe in like, castle doctrine and that could be a more effective way. Or you're not going to win every argument. You're not going to win everybody. It's a good question.
What?
I think a lot of people in America, especially in the right, have this like anti-Israel opinion, but then they also have an anti-Palestinian opinion. And they're just like...
People on the right are... Okay, yeah.
Yeah, those guys are just...
He's talking about Nazis. He's talking about online shit, but okay.
Why are we giving them money? And if that's what it takes for someone to like demand to shut down weapons transfers to Israel, then I'll take it.
This is exactly what IRI was talking about, where someone gave the context and he wasn't looking, he was just reading his chat.
No. Being anti-Israel right now is the same as being anti-Nazi. You can't support anti-Semitism, but if they're opposing actual support for genocide, motive is hardly the most important thing to perfect. Exactly. Now, there are issues, though. There are certainly issues with the motives. Why would he need to take money if his dad's a billionaire? His dad's a billionaire? The new line for this influencer involved in the program described in the article is that, this dark money scheme was never a secret, despite what the contract said and what the creators were told. But this is very easy to debunk. Point me to one video where any of these content creators revealed they were receiving funding from 1630 Fund, dark money group, prior to our article. If the 1630 funding was public, then point me to one video where they disclosed this funding.
Doesn't it say that? Has the Chorus website changed? Did they change this website in the past 4 or 5 days? Is it on the join part? Do they have the was the 1630 thing listed on this website anywhere? Doesn't say here. I fucking hate these the way these fucking websites are written. Maybe it wasn't on the website? I don't remember if it was or not. Oh shit, doxed.
Do you guys understand? Not only do I have an issue with like political commentators getting paid, right, to do like certain kind of messaging pushes, okay? Not only do I take issue with that in general, because like obviously that spells that like you're buyable, right? They can just like buy you, and I don't think you're independent at that point. Or if you're gonna do that, you can just be like, this is something that I agree with already, and they were willing to give me money, and that's why I'm doing it, right? Like that's, I guess, like the most honest way to go about it, right? But it's also a major failure in general for the Democrats. Like it literally fails to do the job. If the Democrats' goal here is to try and bring more people to their side at a time when there should be unprecedented support for the opposition party, then you have to speak on certain issues that the party itself is not choosing to speak on. Otherwise, you are going to lose the messaging war to grifters on the right who will dominate the field. That is precisely the reason why Nick Fuentes is dominating the field right now, okay?
Dominating the field? Because people pay attention on social media? Is that what domination means?
He is seen as an earnestly anti-Israel person on the media side, on the independent media side. Tucker Carlson is seen as an earnestly anti-Israel person on also the independent media side. He's a very important voice in the right-wing movement. When liberal Democrats who are getting paid by the Democratic Party are refusing to speak on these atrocities, they are literally leaving this entire realm of media. They're leaving a massive void in the ecosystem here to unironically allow right-wing grifters to take advantage of.
Disclose where you work, what you do for a living, how much you make, and who your CEO is. That means I have to disclose that a bar prep company has paid me to help grade bar exam essays. But I want to make clear that—
Who's paying you to say this? You, the viewers. The Piker Broadcasting Service is only sponsored by you, the viewers. You can subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get 1 free Prime subscription a month.
That sounds like Jeff Bezos then is the supporter there, right? If they're directing Bezos money towards you, Amazon money towards you, he's getting paid by just, oh, he's not getting paid by ads anymore, I guess. But still, the Prime stuff, that's a Jeff Bezos thing, no?
Piker Broadcasting Service maintains editorial independence through your voluntary contributions. We don't even run ads at the Piker Broadcasting Service. We'll never see ads on the Piker Broadcasting Service. There will be a sponsor stream here and there, like maybe some gaming stuff. But overall, it's you, the viewers, by you, the viewers. Are you being paid by P creators to say this? Yeah, classic. President Biden stands with Israel. I'm so proud of this General Assembly speech. I'm proud to call on my president. Kamala Harris is clear. She does not support an arms embargo to Israel. Oh, come on, man.
if there was ever a situation where a quote-unquote dark money—
Like, I don't even think it's ridiculous to disclose your funding. If you're doing a ad, you should tell people that you're doing a ad. There's a reason why, under normal circumstances,
yeah, he's not doing an ad,
it's
though.
illegal to not disclose it.
He just said that they don't do ads. They don't pay directly for content, but you weren't paying attention. You were too busy watching chat.
Of course, our current regulatory agencies are completely crippled, so they're not going to deal with this at all.
Oh my God.
The Democrats aren't trying to bring more people in and expand their base. They're riding on Trump being fascist and unpalatable for the midterms. Their approach has been, we don't have to change anything and sit on their hands. Yeah, and that's a devastating prospect. And the real reason why that's a devastating prospect is because they are deeply and unimaginably unpopular right now. And no one is seemingly looking at why they're so unpopular when they should be organically popular because of how unpopular the Trump administration is. But because they're not doing anything, people just look at them and go, you guys are losers, not doing shit. And under the duopoly structure, if people despise the Republican Party for its violence and its reactionary policies, and its and
he took his Scooby-Doo necktie off.
The resentment they breed towards the Republicans, and then they have no avenue to actually vote for a party that is like going to actively combat them, actively present hurdles with the Democrats. They're just not going to vote. They're just going to get angry and they're not going to vote. That is precisely what happened this last election.
Group tried to pay me to push a narrative, I'd say absolutely not. But that hasn't stopped this online firing squad.
Oh, there he goes.
And it's funny, the people that are attacking me online are traditional journalists who are threatened by
he's got speakers. He can hear it at least, right?
Work that I do, and also bad faith actors who have spent their entire last 2 years that I've been on this platform attacking me. So I'm not going to stop, and I want you to know that if you have any questions, comment them below.
I've never attacked this person because I don't know who he is. Okay, so if he's like trying to say that I genuinely don't know what he does, I'm completely oblivious to a lot of like the TikTok stuff. Okay,
traditional journalists who are threatened by the work that I do, and also bad faith actors who have spent their entire last 2 years that I've been on this platform attacking me. So I'm not going to stop, and I want you to know that if you have any questions, comment them below.
I've never attacked this person because I don't know who he is.
Why would you assume he's talking about you? Did he say Hasan's name? Did I miss that? Hello?
Okay, so if he's like trying to say that I genuinely don't know what he does, I'm completely oblivious to a lot of like the TikTok stuff. This is the first time I'm seeing this, I know about this person. This person look crazy, but ultimately it seems like there's a lot of there's a lot of the same old talking points coming out. This is a 7-minute video yesterday on TikTok. Yeah, I really enjoyed your commentary and thank you.
do messaging. Look at his face. He's like looking at chat.
Speeches in the past, where I've
He's like looking at chat, just kind of tuning out.
mentored other creators in the past. This was no different. This had nothing to do with politics. Had nothing.
He just said right there. Literally, he was zoning out. Like you can see on his face.
Mentor smaller creators so that they can grow and that they can monetize their platform. And just like I've given speeches in the past, where I mentored other creators in the past, this was no different. This had nothing to do with politics. Had nothing to do with a political party, and had no.
And then now he starts paying attention again. Okay.
Not only do I take issue with that in general, because like obviously that spells that like
he doesn't respond to it,
right? They can just like buy you. And I don't think you're independent at that point. Or if you're gonna do that, you just be like, this is something that I agree with already, and they were willing to give me money, and that's why I'm doing it.
That's literally what several of them like did in so many words.
Right? Like that's I guess like the most honest way to go about it. Right?
No, that's not. No, I take it all back. That none of them were paid to make content. Chorus had zero creative input on their content, on their private content that they were doing on their own channels, on their own time. They were not paid to do any messaging. None of that was a thing.
Also, a major failure in general for the Democrats. Like it literally fails to do the job. If the Democrats have really great taste, but the lack of coverage in Gaza honestly turns me away now, regardless of the validity of the article. I don't get it. They pay 8K a month just because, no strings attached. That kind of feels like what you're saying. You took money from a Zionist group during a genocide, no PR spending and changing.
Zionist group during a genocide.
The facts. The lack of transparency is what people are upset about. I'm good with this. I did my research on it, and I don't see an issue. The left has to catch up to the far right. They've been killing it, like you said, especially on social media. Like, let's go. Okay, if the left is losing to the far right, you need to understand there's a key reason for it, and that's not just because of money.
It's because of Gaza.
That's not just because like money dominates this field. That's one of the reasons. But the other reason is because the right is in tune with like organically developing resentment movements that they immediately fold back into the Republican Party, whereas the left, or not the left, but like liberal content creators and the Democrats actively are more invested in like getting their base to just believe in harm reduction narratives when that has been a demonstrable failure. Putting the same harm reduction narratives in front of more people over and over again is not obviously going to allow you to secure a victory here. It failed last election cycle. This is worse than Trump won, because at least in Trump won, there was a movement towards more progressive politicians and more progressive politics that the establishment Dems basically gave way to. They didn't actively try to shank the left flank. They realized that.
What are you talking about? You fucking retards cry all the time that Bernie Sanders literally got his primary stolen from him, that the DNC rigged the primaries and used superdelegates and Donna Brazile or whatever to steal the primary for Bernie Sanders. What do you mean you're acting like they get what?
The Trump issue was so pervasive and so scary that they actively stood by as the left grew and you know, they listened to the demands being made by the base. So much so that they even did those messaging bills about Medicare for all. That's the reason why Kamala Harris ran as a pro-Medicare for all candidate in the primaries after losing, of course. But there was a reason why so many of
in 2016? He means in 2020, I'm assuming, right?
The Democrats that were on that stage were either actively trying to fight back against Medicare for all, or were just straight up saying that they're pro-Medicare for all. He mentions you at 055.
Say, how could you do this to us? I knew back in 2021 when you had the following to say that you must have been getting paid by someone, and here's proof. And I was not even going to give this the time of day, but my relationship with you, my actual audience, is the most important thing. And so I decided to do this segment. I also was told that other creators, like a Twitch streamer named Hasan Piker, were covering this in ways that don't reflect the reality of the situation and are perpetuating false.
Okay, first of all, I just read the article, okay? I didn't like cover it in a particular way. I just covered the article. Also, I've known David for years.
He's given so much more editorial content on this. I don't know if he did before this or not, but
for me, I normally stay away from, you know, yelling about like Brian Tyler Cohen or David or any of these guys, because like there are certain issues that I just know they're not going to talk about, whatever. But as long as they're like cordial, as long as they're like, you know, focusing most of their efforts on combating the Republicans and whatnot, even if I don't agree with a lot of key problems here, I think it's you know, it's whatever. David saying Twitch streamers insane given the disparity in your respective reach. Yeah.
What? Given the disparity in your respective reach, Hasan has no reach outside of Twitch. He is a Twitch streamer. That's all he is. What do you mean the huge reach? Where's the where's the troll or were you super ass pained over this? Oof. I don't even think he did good on the Adam Friedland show. Where is this? What is the huge reach of Hasan Piker? What is this? What is the huge reach? You're a Twitch streamer, bro.
Dave's saying a Twitch streamer is insane given the disparity in your respective reach. Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is.
Hoods about what is and isn't going on. Now, I can't speak to the motives of the people that wrote the article or those.
Does he not respond at all ever to the people that are like first party witnesses to primary sources to the event who are saying this didn't happen with these contracts? Does he respond to them ever?
That are reacting to it, I can't get in their heads. All I can do is tell you what's going on, and then you can judge and you can make an assessment of me. Now, I also want to mention, I'm aware that many of the people I'm hearing of aren't even part of my audience. They're doing well, now I'm unsubscribing, and they mostly were never subscribed. And
this is a threat to their bag. They'll escalate the conflict to all-out war before they'll make any concessions. All I'm saying is, if you truly care about fighting against Donald Trump, if you truly care about undermining the growth of fascism in this country,
Why does he play their reaction if he doesn't even say anything? If the reaction is literally disagreeing completely with everything he's saying.
Have to look within yourself, okay?
What's the
You
point?
have to look within yourself. You have to realize that the same old business as usual, Democrats are actually the harm reductionist party, is not going to move you across the finish line. Or even if it does carry the Democrats across the finish line, if the final attitude from the Democrats is reflected in the Kamala Harris campaign, and it's just more militant military, like a more lethal military and a more militant border policy, then is it even good that the Democrats won in that regard? Like, it's just not. It's a race to the bottom, okay? I care about policies first and foremost. That's what's most consequential, okay? That's what's most consequential for me. I don't give a shit about what the letter is next to the name of the politician. I care about what they are going to fight for, okay? Are they going to fight two issues? To the correct on act, surprise when they lose. One problem is that in the Democratic Party, there's no penalty for failure.
He doesn't respond to any of it? These people literally are directly disagreeing with everything he's saying.
They're simply stating that the article is not correct. And I'm not entirely
he's
about it. Insane Republican Party. Very important information here. In Detroit, you need to go up to Hazel Park and get Louis' Detroit-style pizza. You got it. When will we watch the second half of the Richie Torres interview? Right now. We're going to go into it in a second. Okay? Anyway, I'm not going to watch this whole thing, but I guess it's like a lot of the same old, where they're basically just saying, it seems like they're simply stating that the article is not correct. And I'm not entirely sure on why they're saying the article is not correct. They're just like, they're basically just saying like all of the stuff that Taylor reported on is just untrue. And obviously Wired Magazine and Taylor Lorenz have they have fact checkers, you know? That's just not how this works. You can't just like present a completely made up reality. This isn't like, this is Wired Magazine, right? This is not like some crazy alt-right website or whatever. And therefore, every single piece of information that you read from the Wired Magazine article is going to be confirmed through leaked information, background information that you arrive at. Like it's clear. Taylor responded.
Since my article came out yesterday about the 1630 Fund funding a bunch of these Democratic influencers through the secret program.
So if I go and look up every single article on Wired, Hasan's going to agree with every single thing written in every single article because it's on Wired. Okay, cool.
A bunch of these influencers have spread just the most absurd lies sort of in response, which I think is quite revealing. I think that sort of speaks to their transparency and commitment to the truth. But I just want to clear some things up. So some of these creators have said, well, I never hid my affiliation with Chorus. Here I am right here on the Chorus website. No one is arguing that. I've reported on these people's affiliations with Chorus. I've written about Chorus even prior to this article. The point is that none of them disclosed that they were receiving money from a dark money group, the 1630 Fund. None of them have ever disclosed, as far as I've ever seen, their relationship with the 1630 Fund. And that is the crux of it. Chorus
lying. That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. She's saying that's the issue. That was not the issue. First of all, why would you disclose the funding source of the organization that you work for? Why would you even? And then what? Do they have to disclose the sources of the sources? This is the dark money argument, the infinite ad infinitum or ad reductio or whatever. Like, you're not disclosing your relationship with the 1630. They have no relationship with the 1630 Fund. They work for Chorus, or they have a relationship with Chorus. Chorus is funded by the 1630 Fund, but
this is just the middleman. They're just running the program. The 1630 Fund, as far as I've ever seen, their relationship with the 1630 Fund, and that is the crux of it. Chorus is just the middleman. They're just running the program.
Yes, also known as your employer, your boss. How can a fucking dipshit, how can midget brain over here, so, hold on, because you work for Twitch, okay? Twitch is just the middleman between Amazon and Twitch and you, right? Twitch is the middleman between Amazon and Hasan? And then what, is Amazon the middleman between Hasan and Bezos? Like, what? Hello?
The 1630 Fund is a powerful dark money group that is funding this effort. And so if you...
Yes. So what does that have to do with anything? What are we asking for? So Chorus is who is employing them or paying them for whatever, contracting them for whatever work. Chorus gets money from the 1630 Fund. We can go and read what the 1630 Fund funds. We can see what they throw money at. We can see what their policy aims are and goals are. What's the next step? What else do we need here?
You see these people online saying, well, this was never a secret. I always disclosed it. Please point me to where they've ever said that they were receiving payments from the 1630 Fund.
I don't think they get paid from the 1630 Fund, do they? Or does the 1630 Fund also handle payments for Chorus? I don't know what the payment structure, maybe if it, does it say that directly, that they, on their paychecks, does it say deposited from 1630 Fund?
They're saying they didn't get paid for specific posts. They were trying to worm their way out of it. Also saying no one told them what to say. They're denying that they are paid. Yeah, I think
that's not a loophole, you fucking retard. There is a significant difference between somebody paying you to do a particular piece of content versus whatever else contracted workshops, news updates, whatever other bullshit that they were signed up with. These are significantly different things.
I think what's going on here is they're in a weird way trying to say,
and it's explained in detail by the other influencers. We've listened to them explain it.
If I'm taking what they're saying at face value, it feels like they're saying these guys are they really like us and they gave us money for no reason, no obligations. They didn't even tell us to disclose it. We just chose not to disclose it. but they just gave us money because they really like us, which is ironic because that's literally the Tim Pool argument for Tenet. Now, of course, there's a difference between like a foreign adversary using like a shell company to fund American politicians to take a stance that's like pro foreign adversary versus a dark money group funding, an American dark money group funding pro-Democrat Party liberal content creators. Like clearly one is way more commonplace, especially on the right. But it's interesting that their counter here is to simply say, no, they just gave us money, dog. It's like, what are you, stupid? Like you're gonna say no to free money?
Went through and looked at these contracts. The stipulations in the contract are very clear that creators cannot disclose the identity of their funder, the 1630 fund. And
did they ever show that? I'm curious. Did she have that in the article anywhere? I don't think she showed any part of the contracts or there was no screenshots or anything, right?
Actually, after I started reporting my article as well, creators were told that they were not allowed to speak to me, they were not allowed to speak to the press, et cetera, et cetera. So actually, after I started reporting my article as well, creators were told that they were not allowed to speak to me, they were not allowed to speak to the press, et cetera, et cetera.
The ones who are all now making videos on this? Is that?
So I don't know what to tell these people other than you were not open and transparent about the fact that you were receiving money from a dark money fund or that you were part of a scheme, a program run by this dark money group. And I think that is the problem here. Dark money.
Do you have a counter for the Tenet argument? You're going to encounter it at all times when debating this. The Tenet argument, the issue with the Tenet argument is the fact that it was coming from a foreign adversary of the United States. And it seems like it was having a significant impact on the creators' policy perspectives. Because Tim Pool went from, in 2014, being in Ukraine, being in Kyiv and reporting on Euromaidan and having a decent understanding of it, to saying Ukraine was the #1 enemy of the people. Also, the issue is Tenet was having money illegally funneled to it through a Russian shell company from a foreign adversary, right? These are significantly different things. We all knew that Tenet was paying these creators something because they were working on the Tenet Media channel. We knew that. That wasn't the surprising part. The surprising part was that it was like fucking foreign money that was unreported. Like if it comes through the 1630 fund is being funded by fucking Israel in a top secret manner or some bullshit, or there's money being funded through Qatar or whatever, that would be different. That would make you wonder, sure.
Politics is a huge
Or if like a bunch of the content creators started to significantally change their opinions on things or 180 on things.
It's been a significant problem on the right for years, and I've covered that as well. But as somebody else put it online, Democrats also using sort of dark money, shady tactics that are described in our story as unethical. That doesn't help the problem. That's like fighting fire with more fire, like pouring fire onto the fire. It doesn't bring transparency to our political system. It doesn't engender trust in independent media.
I'm gonna keep it $1.50.
Also, Tenet was literally giving content direction as well to the people that were working there, right? They had editors and stuff that were in that Discord that were giving content direction to the creators.
If the Democrats were actively pushing back against the Trump administration, actively pushing back against what's going on in Gaza, and they were funding initiatives, maybe not through dark money, and the people that were getting funded were disclosing it, like I wouldn't have as much as a problem with this. Okay, maybe that puts me in a biased predicament or whatever. I still think you should disclose when you are getting paid, right, by any number of different like political organizations, especially if you want to remain a political commentator that is like earnest and honest and explaining to their audience that like these are the places that are funding me, right? Transparency is a huge part of this process. This is the whole point of independent media. We're supposed to be like different. We're supposed to be different than MSNBC and CNN and Yeah. I guess like some people were trying to say I was also a part of this group or something, which is really funny. I can confirm that Hasan was not approached for this program. I didn't see Austin on the list either. The 90 influencers involved appear to be primarily centrist pro-DNC Dems who have not spoken about Palestine / are pro-Israel.
And also, I'll just clear up something else, is that these people have accused me of taking dark money. Nothing could be. I've never taken money from any sort of dark money group, ever. I'm on a Omidyar Network Reporters in Residence program right now. Omidyar Network is not a dark money group. What are you talking about? This is a reporting fund that is not dark money because there's a level of transparency to it. And whereas these dark money groups are not subject.
It is a dark money group. That is not true. She's lying. It is explicitly and literally structured as a dark money group. Not that I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, because I think this dark money thing is just a fake bullshit thing, but she's just lying here. That's just a lie.
To the same levels of transparency. So it's very sad to see these influencers lashing out. They say I hit dog hollers or whatever. Clearly they feel put on blast. But let's be honest here and let's all work towards...
Weird. Omidyar Fund 1630. That's the least surprising thing I've ever heard. Pierre Omidyar is the reason why The Intercept existed initially, for the record. He's an interesting dude. He is like I don't always find myself agreeing with a lot of his initiatives, a lot of his opinions, but he is one of those guys that's been like weird in terms of like being invested in having investigative reporting take place. If they aren't being told what to say, then all the people noted in the articles should just say Israel bad. What do you see these Dem Party defenders doing?
Some of them literally say that.
More of their audiences turn on them. I think they're just like actively going to try. I think they are going to actively try to defend their honest intentions. They're going to say like, no, we didn't do this because of money. We did it. They just gave us money for free, and you're stupid.
And so I'm aware of
remember,
that.
a lot of this stuff is just like parasocial.
But it doesn't matter because I want to make sure my audience hears from me about this.
What?
Now, the most important thing to say is that the idea behind this group is exactly what I've been advocating for years. For years I've been saying.
I mean, I will say it's not very surprising to me, at least, that like there are a lot of left content creators on the independent media side, some of which are very popular, myself included, Chapo Trap House, Majority Report, and I don't think these guys went to them at all. One must ask the question, why? Why is it? Perhaps it's because if you have a truly anti-establishment opinion, it's not just like marketing, then it's not likely that you are going to have billionaires that fund you through dark money groups so that you can actively demand that they no longer be billionaires. This is not happening.
The left needs to organize independent media in the way that the right has been doing. The left needs to fund independent creators the way that the right does. The right has won even arguably presidential elections.
Yeah, I think they're also saying, yeah, this is the argument. This is the meta. Well, the Republicans do this too, and if we got to fight fire with fire, this is how we got to do it. It's like you're just making an argument to get money from the Democratic Party. That's crazy. Organizer memes. Outside groups paying influence isn't bad. By the way, it's how we catch up to the right. How we build this stuff. I said we don't have a vertically integrated media landscape. The independent left is seen as spoilers / antagonistic to dem goals. Establishment is now playing catch up to build lib content creators. We don't want blue Charlie Kirks. We want the party to fight to improve our lives. Hi Hasan, it's nice seeing you at the DSA. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I don't want blue Charlie Kirks, but I do want a rich left media ecosystem, and that does involve paying creators. It was a different conversation. I covered DSA out of pocket. Many creators couldn't. The Dems will have to fix themselves or flame out regardless. Zoran shows how when we have good candidates, we don't have to spend as much on influencers, but it still needs plenty of investment. You yourself benefit from the infrastructure of TYT. The how is everything. Yeah, we're gonna TYT really translate to major viewership, which is why he spent the first year on Twitch with sub 500 average viewers, with the first 6 months being sub 50.
Oh, careful on that one. Careful, Hasan, because remember, you starting on the Young Turks and that giving you a big boost was always the argument that he used to use for saying that I didn't do anything to help him grow his career. So, what was it? Careful. If we're going to say that all of his time posting videos on Facebook that got millions of views as the, transphobic, homophobic frat boy didn't help him at all, then where did that growth come from?
He developed skills and connections there. He had a stable income there. These aren't stains on his character. His conditions, the impact he was able to spend time building a project that, especially for streaming, has a real cost of barrier to entry. Yeah, I mean, I was making like 20 grand a year. So
why would you lie about that? You were making 60K a year. You literally said that to everybody. Wait, why would he lie about that? Why would he lie? Wait, what? Wait, did he not say this multiple times in arguments with us? Why would he lie about that? I remember him saying it during an online debate with Charlie Kirk, but I don't want wishful thinking. Somebody fresh memory. If I recall something, okay. It was 60K. I looked it up. Why would he lie about that? Hello? He says it a few seconds after this? Oh, whatever. Well, why? Because somebody in chat calls him out?
And by the end of my career at the I was making like, what, almost 60 grand a year.
Oh, whatever. Okay. By the end of it? So when you were full-time, what, did you get 20K as a side gig when you were in college?
I mean, I was making like 20 grand a year. So by the end of my career at the I was making like, what, almost 60 grand a year. Yeah. This is the major problem. Okay. You're right. When you say 0 people come to this conclusion.
Like, so back in 2012, what is the year? You're getting paid basically a full-time salary right out of college to make videos online. Like, this is back in these days. This is when if you got paid like $600 a month to play a video game, you would like fucking meet it. That was the dream. People that were getting paid, like $400 to $600 a month to be on Pro StarCraft 2 teams. These were like the best. It was like a dream job if you could do that. And this guy's like, yeah, I got 6K.
Naturally.
In 2012, bro?
Okay, this is the issue. If the people that are getting paid by the Dems are saying shit like, Elisa Slotkin is becoming one of my favorite Democrats. Like, you are just taking money from the Dems to spit back. You're taking money from the Democrat.
But didn't she make that statement a year ago? Wasn't this like way before this course thing even fucking existed? This literally is opposite evidence to your point.
The Democratic Party to spit back these kinds of takes for absolutely no one. You know what I mean? For no one. And maybe you're doing this so you can inevitably down the line get invited to the White House, or you're doing this because maybe down the line you might get a bag from the Democrat groups like the one that we're talking about. But whether this is paid—
Oh, so now you're a future sellout. Now you're a future— Oh, you're a time-traveling sellout. Oh, shit. Why does he have these positions? It's because he's bought and paid for by dark money, but he has no sponsors. No, that's what you think, you fucking idiot. He's actually taking on these positions right now so that in the future, a dark money sponsor can buy him out. Oh! Time-traveling sellouts! Thank you, Hasan.
You're doing this because maybe down the line you might get a bag from the Democrat groups like the one that we're talking about. But whether this is paid for or, a Noam Chomsky-style like personal filter that you're applying, it doesn't change the dynamic that it's just like an idiotic message to put out there because this is just like objectively untrue. Elisa Slotkin is not a good Democrat at all. She sucks. And so many people can see it. So you just constantly saying that is not going to actually convert people. It's just going to make the people that like Elisa Slotkin in the Democrat establishment go, see, that's a good one right there. That's a good Gen Z. I think that account was trying to say that it's not a problem for people to make money externally from content creation. The problem is that they are made to say or not say in the disclosure, but we shouldn't reject all funding as a concept. I personally don't do it. I think it's not good. And I've literally worked with PACs, like not PACs, but I've worked with like organizations, right? I have worked with advocacy organizations, and in the process they like have a marketing budget and they want to pay me, and I say no. But it's like,
you literally take sponsors on stream, little bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I usually don't take payment from most of these things either. I don't think I got paid for my last Unfuck America. I don't think I take payment from almost anybody. But it's because I'm rich, and so are you. You're probably richer than me. Why are you bragging about this? This is like Trump bragging about not taking a salary from the White House. And you do sponsors where you do take payment. Like, what the fuck are you talking? Why would you say, like, what?
The reason why I say no is because, for instance, Lip, yeah. Shut up. The reason why I say no to it is because, well, one, I don't need it because the Piker Broadcasting Service is sponsored by you.
There you go. Because you're rich. Thank you.
Viewers for you, the viewers. Yes. I'm bought by my viewers. But it's like, I'm not going to, like the immigration one with Rashida, exactly. I've talked about this already, right? At the time, I even disclosed it, right? And And the reason why I don't feel the need to do it is because I don't need it, and I want to help these organizations already, right? But if there is a content creator who's like much smaller, for example, and they
thank you for copying my talking point. I know he got these from me too. That's
they
good.
need this to build out an infrastructure for themselves, and like that's fine as long as they disclose it. It's all right. But once again, not only should you disclose it, you should be open and honest about like where you align with this advocacy organization. Okay, but more importantly, you should also, you should also be speaking out about issues that you care about. It's not good for building out a robust audience for yourself anyway if you just come across like, by the way, like a different version of Anderson Cooper.
All of
right?
Destiny's former orbits suckled on progressive victory. Yeah, and it turned into a slush fund for Destiny's besties, like straight up.
All of the people who are pro-Israel and all the people who are pro-Destiny unironically got paid.
Didn't I have a not huge fight? Didn't PV fucking try to door knock for, was it Bowman? Like,
yeah, you were right. Key search disclose.
Again, you can look at Progressive Victory and people who worked with them. It wasn't, of course, that when it was initially pushing, they got people, and then they had people with connections who were also working with them because these guys wanted to work with creators. They ended up with like Brianna Wu and Destiny fairly early on, and then after that they were like, okay, well, who else can we get on? And it was like, who's the nearest ones? What other creators who are in that sphere? It wasn't all people who are quote pro-Destiny or even pro-Israel though. That's not true. Progressive Victory also worked with Vaush. Vaush fucking hates Destiny, right? And he also hates Israel. He wants Israel destroyed. Not to mention, who else was there? Progressive Brat. There was Zanderhol, very anti-Destiny, very anti-Israel. There was Stray Raids, Lycan, both very anti-Israel. So
yes.
Oh, the fact that he's making about Israel, again, the obsessive fucking hatred. People learn less from this content. What can I say? Emma Bigland, I don't think she was involved with Progressive Victory, was she? But Vaush was, yes. For quite obsession, the obsessive fucking hatred. People learn less from this content. What can I say? Emma Bigland, I don't think she was involved with Progressive Victory, was she? But Vaush was, yes. For quite a bit, actually, for quite a while. Absolute fucking liar. And again, they make this about me as well somehow.
Available information from the to be disclosed. It's likely.
Fuck, I hate him so much. Oh my god. These guys had something.
If Kamala Harris is president, right? We are going to make sure grocery prices come down if Kamala Harris is president. We are.
Oh, and even Breaking Point's covered it. Really?
People involved say is Brian Tyler Cohen and some others. Like, it's not secret. We've done videos about it.
Right.
Chorus has a web. What a lot of people involved say is Brian Tyler Cohen and some others. Like, it's not secret. We've done videos about it. Chorus has a website. You can apply for a Chorus. Basically, what this is Democratic adjacent, and I think the DNC actually took over Chorus. The Kamala Harris campaign took over Chorus during the presidential campaign, and there's now some actual internal.
Wait, I thought Chorus was like a month old. How is that possible? Or how long ago were these contracts?
There's a struggle over it, like different party factions, like want to have the relationships with these different creators, and so there's a couple different things going on. One would be regular stipends to people to say certain things or to not say other things. The other would be stipends for training to lift people up so that they can be independent content creators.
What does that mean? Like, oh, here's how to make a thumbnail. Here's how to like.
Yeah, no, but this is not dumb. Like, this is what the right has done. That it takes time to build up your audience and to build up the skills so that you're self-sustaining as an independent creator. Like that, anybody who's tried to do it from scratch will tell you that. Like, you're not paying rent.
I mean,
how you gonna pay rent like on day one with 0 followers?
Well, you don't. You have it. It's a side job till it's a full job, like it is with everyone else that's creating independent.
Right. And so what Brian Tyler Cohen and others went, and they basically went to these very rich people and said, why don't you fund this network that will then seed people and help get them off the ground? The people that are doing the funding, obviously, then are going to fund people that they think are going to be beneficial to what they want. And that's where the corruption comes in. But go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna. So
I thought the exact opposite of the corruption. The corruption would be funding people and making them change their opinions. Why he explained it so well. Okay, whatever.
Are going to find a.
Okay, these are the last two that I'll go over. Or maybe I'll just do it off stream and then I'm done with this shit. Fuck this story. It's a good litmus test at least. Oh, and tomorrow we're playing Expedition 33. Oh boy. President, Mother, Bishop, Bird, Clergy Member, Premier, MLB Player, Pope, Saint Valentine, Introduction, NFL Player, Lord, Launch, Burns, St. Patrick Debut. The start of something. Are these like church positions? Is a lordy, a lord, clergy member, bishop, things? It's going to be one off. It's going to be one off. It's going to be one off. Is it this? Oh my God. Clergy member, pope, lord, bishop. I have no fucking idea. This is one away. One of these doesn't fit. It can't be president. One of these stupid saints? It can't be this. I don't know and I don't care. Get me the fuck out of here. Fuck! Get me out. One celebrated with holidays. Oh my god. President's Day? Is that Mother's Day? Famous poets. I would have never gotten this one. Bishop, Burns, Lord, Pope. I have no clue. I don't think I know a single one of these. What cardinal might refer to? A cardinal bird? A clergy member? Is a cardinal? Okay. MLB player and NFL. I don't. Okay. Never mind. I was never getting these. Okay. I love you. Be careful. Don't die.